The Madcap crew has asked me to sincerely thank Count Dankula for swinging by and joining us on the We're All Fucked Live Police State. And I must say, mate, I'd rather be lucky than good. And I sure felt lucky when you joined us. So sit back and relax, folks. Get yourself something cold to drink and something hot to smoke. 'Cause here comes Count Dankula! Welcome one, welcome all. You're all welcome at the Freakers Ball. The Madcap crew has assembled once again to bring you the best kind. Holy shit, I didn't do that right. Look, every time you try to do something cool, you do something stupid like that, right? Let me just mute this. Oh,
You're
so
live,
there it is. That was my wonderful entry right there. If you don't know what live is, you just found out. And sometimes when you're producer, actor, and announcer and all that wrapped in one, you do make a few mistakes. So to glaze over that, I'm just going to start right away and say, tell us who you are, Amanda Wolfchild.
I'm just some random mom on the internet who doesn't give a shit and says her opinions about whatever the fuck they are. That's me.
How about you, Based Mama?
I'm Based Mama, and I am an aging punk rocker mosh mama, and I'm on the interwebs with all the people.
Amen. And how about you, Day is Dead?
I'm here, and that's it. I don't know. I'm a person. You see me. I've been here.
And we got the Hard Bastard. What do you do?
Yo, I deconstruct bullshit on the internet, and Donna Brazil is a lying, corrupt trash bitch.
Okay, man. All right. He's trying to mess me up. That was very hilarious. And one last but not least, Britisher. Tell him who you are.
Good evening. I am the Britisher. I am from the country the history comes from.
Amen. And I, of course, am your ever-loving blue-eyed ogre. If you're used to me jumping up and down and like shaking my penis around and showing you my pecs and stuff, don't expect that tonight, because these people were so kind to me. I know what I am and where I come from, and
I wasn't there for
honored. I know you were long gone. I am honored to have all of these people here tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to play the great host. And right before we came on, as y'all were wondering where we were at and why we were coming on a little bit late, the Hard Bastard was talking about something, and he's going to kind of open up a little can of worms that maybe we can talk about until Count Dankula gets here. Take it away, Bastard.
Yeah, people were talking, were asking what happened during the hearing today. And I said, for people that didn't know, James Comey, this is when he was supposed to testify. And during the hearing, the Democrats were actually reading off of the PIS dossier. Most people know the PIS dossier is the discredited document that BuzzFeed released and that CNN reported on, that had Donald Trump hiring prostitutes to piss on the mattresses that the Obamas slept on. And he would periodically run into the bathroom to yell out that he hates black people. So this document they were reading out, and even though they had no evidence of what was going on, and Comey couldn't really comment on anything because it was there's a current investigation. So I think Comey may have answered one question in the very beginning to just confirm that there is an actual investigation going on. And then other than that, it was Democrats asking ridiculous questions, some based on the dossier, and Comey saying, I can't comment on that. It was a fucking circus.
Oh, that was perfect. I was just about ready to ring your bell. So what I kind of want to ask, and I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to bounce this off from person to person. That's the only thing I'm going to do. So I would like to know what the Britisher wants to think, but hold your thoughts, Britt, because as an Englishman, maybe you'll round this up and you'll give us a different perspective. But I'm going to ask Based Mama right now. And I'm going to ask the same question of Amanda Wolfchild. So Amanda, when she's done, if you'll answer it, do you think Comey is credible in this what shall I say, this colossus of integrity that he has been painted to be?
No, and the reason I don't is because his behavior over the past year has shown that he is bought and sold like candy. I mean, he's whatever they want him to do, he does. Hillary was clearly up to illegal behavior. I mean, stuff that compromised our national security, potentially treasonous acts. And he basically just said, well, she didn't mean to, so it's all right. I mean, if any of us would have done it, we would be in jail for life. That's it. We're done. But for her, for whatever reason, it's like, oh, she didn't mean to give away national secrets, so it's totally okay. Like, he's shown that he will not pick a side, but that he is willing to be used by both sides to their own end. So, I mean, he's happy to be a pawn, and that's dangerous to have in your intelligence committee. Is in any kind of intelligence community, you don't want to have somebody who can be compromised with the right amount of pressure or the right amount of money. You want somebody who is steadfast and has integrity, and he doesn't.
Oh, and once again, right as I was about ready to ring the bell, I think you just wrapped that up very nicely. So if Amanda Wolfchild, and I don't want to blitz you, so as soon as she's done, Day is Dead, I want to go to you. And don't listen, everybody on the panel, this is an opinion panel. So don't think, we're not bringing you facts right now, folks. So tell us your opinion on this, Mrs. Wolfchild, if you will.
Yeah, I agree with Base Mama. The dude will just blow whichever way the wind goes, whichever way suits him and his needs. And you can't trust people like that. That's the problem that I have with Tim Demotivator. He'll just say whatever he needs to say to suit his needs at the time and make him feel like he's the one who comes out better in that conversation. He just always wants to appear as if he is the moral superior. And that's what this guy does too. Like, I'm cool. I'll do, whatever y'all want. I'll go along with it, just so long as you all think that I'm the good person. I don't fucking trust people like that. I don't think anybody should. And especially when it comes to politics, of course, in politics, they're all fucking you around. You got to know that the left is working with the right and they're pushing the people against each other. And sometimes the left is fighting the right and they push themselves against each other. That's just what it's about. You got to break people down into different segments and groups in order to control them, whether you're in politics or you're not.
Perfect. I think you were done there too, right at the right time. This is going to be very easy for your beloved timekeeper. So Day is Dead. I mean, what do you think? If you haven't even seen this,
yeah, mine's going to be short because
just
I haven't seen it. But I don't trust anybody anymore in the media, in politics. I didn't really trust anybody in politics to begin with, but especially with the shit show that's going down now, with finding out the whole DNC thing is just utterly, completely corrupt, and everybody's doing, like, the shady dealings that were always done, I feel, in the internet age are brought to the surface in a way that they haven't been before. And so I feel like a lot of people are finally like, what are you guys doing? And we get to know what they're doing instead of it all being done behind closed doors. And I just don't trust anybody anymore. I guess that's it.
I want the Britisher to round us up in here, but Britisher, while you do, I want you to hear this statement that Devonna Wright, I think I'm saying that right, Devonna Wright says over here in the comments, man or woman, whatever it may be, this person says, Comey was on the board of HSBC Bank while they laundered drug money. Trump should have sacked him immediately. So I just want you to have a little insight. He claims to be this man of integrity. In your mother country of Great Britain, have you run into politicians or whatever we want to call him? He's not a politician. He is more or less a glorified police officer. But have you run into this kind of thing in your mother country of England?
I mean, I don't think as such with, with the police or with any sort of law enforcement agencies. But I mean, with politicians, I mean, we've just had George Osborne, who seems to be creaming off enormous amounts of money now that he's no longer the Chancellor of the Exchequer. In the same way that Tony Blair, once he left office, also became just obscenely rich because he suddenly was apparently rewarded for services rendered from sources unknown. But when it comes to this congressional hearing, I would just like to point out that there was one thing that was clearly touched upon, and that was both the FBI boss and the NSA boss were asked whether there was any truth to any of this wiretapping stuff, whether there was any evidence, and whether there was any proof for any GCHQ involvement, the British Communications Centre. And both of them just basically categorically said, well, no, there isn't. And generally, I think both these conspiracy theories, both the allegation about Russia from the Democrats and the allegation about GCHQ from the Republicans, don't really seem to take into account what possible motivation the Russians or the British could possibly have in getting involved in this. It seems plausible from an American perspective because it kind of explains how there aren't any Americans involved, but it doesn't actually explain why possibly these two countries would be taking on such extraordinary risks of meddling in the US election, but without any upside for themselves. Yeah, I think that would be it.
Yeah. I haven't thought about it that way before. Like, what would they be benefiting?
Yeah,
and
I do notice that some people will think that I'm cutting folks off, but I have a timer here, and we're going to let everybody continue their ideas. But I have something here as I pass it back. Unless you have something else to add, I want to pass it back to the Hard Bastard, because I think that you'll find this interesting, Bastard. This wasn't directed towards you, but this is a comment coming from Patrick Turner over here in our chat section, and he says, Trey Gowdy was awesome today when he was talking to Comey about motive, and Comey agreed that at the end of the day, motive doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be proven to prove someone is guilty. Do you have any words on that, boss?
I mean, what I saw so far of the hearing was like, I had it on while I was working. So there were specific sections that I saw. The part I saw with Gowdy, I think I saw what he was referring to when they were talking about, I think Gowdy was talking about evidence, and I think he was also talking about the people that leaked the information and how it's important to focus on the fact that all of the leaks that have come out are felonies. As far as Comey, the interesting thing is how he said the way that the tweet was worded, Trump's tweet in regards to wiretapping, there's no evidence for that. And that's the same thing that the media has been saying, like trying to force this very literal interpretation of wiretapping. When I hear wiretapping, I think of surveillance. And then they're also trying to like use these different words. Like they're saying, oh, no, it wasn't wiretapping. And they give like the definition of wiretapping on CNN out of the dictionary that includes telegraphs, which we don't use anymore. But then they're like, but, there was backdoor surveillance, as if like it's a different thing. It's all the same. So I don't really think anything was really accomplished today because you had the evidence that we already knew. There's no evidence of meddling. I mean, what is it? The Trump campaign colluding is the word I'm looking for. Colluding. There's no evidence of colluding. And they admitted that today. But of course, instead of talking about that, CNN talks about just the fact that there's an investigation. So I think any reputable news channel is going to at least report the fact that, and there hasn't been this whole time, any evidence, and there's still no evidence that the Trump campaign colluded in any way with the Russians.
Oh, well, a good point, boss. And you just hit your dinger at 2 minutes. That was very good. And also, Base Mom, I want to go to you next. But before I do, I kind of want to prime your pump, and you may want to disregard this. I don't know if there's something on your mind, but someone says over here, it's Venton Boner, if you will. Venton Boner says, Comey. Oh, wait. I said that wrong too. I just looked down. It's Gonzalez 131 says Comey is an effing traitor. Do you have anything to add to that or something else, Base Mama?
Well, potentially he is, just because he can be so easily bought and sold to the advantage or disadvantage of a political opponent, depending on who's paying more. But it's also that he doesn't want to put his foot in it, because he knows that what he did is technically illegal, and he knows that if more information gets out, he's going to be implicated or outright identified as having done something illegal or potentially treasonous. You can't play favorites in politics when you're in information. You can't do that. You just gather the information and you tell the truth.
Sorry about that. I went to tweet the link and it dropped me out of the stream.
No problem, but you are next, Amanda. If you have something to add to that, as long as Base Mama's done, it will bounce to you next. So once again, I kind of want to give you a little bit of something. We have some people just chatting away over here. As I said about the first person, this person is saying, I agree with bastard. It is basically a whole lot of hot air today. This is by Mike I'm so bad with pronouncing things I don't know. So if I butcher your name, folks, you should have picked a fucking American name. So this is from Mike VE, a veteran, I believe. And I have these glasses on too. They don't help. So if you have anything to add. Yeah, my MKE veteran. Yes. Thank you so much, Base Mama. I look so intelligent now. But what I'm saying is, if you have anything to add, because he says he agrees with bastard. It was a whole lot of hot air today. And if you didn't watch it today, that's fine. Just add your 2 cents. You got 2 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch today, but that's probably all it was, and I missed a chunk because I got kicked out of the stream for a minute, but that's all politics really is. That's all extremists are too. They stand up and they blow a lot of hot air about shit nobody really cares about, but we feel like we have to. And they never talk about the shit that you do care about. If they do, they mention it like barely. And be like, oh yeah, and this too. But then if you want to think deeper about the shit that you should actually be thinking about, you're crazy, according to them.
Oh, unless you have something to add, that was wonderful. And Day, if everybody will just look at the side chat, I'm trying to keep up with both chats, so I'm kind of giving you cues on the side there. Go ahead, Day, rock and roll, you sweet thing.
Well, I kind of agree with Amanda. Like, I don't really give a shit about this. I mean, I kind of do in the sense that it's like political drama that's happening, but I think there's way more pressing and dangerous and important stuff to be focusing on. I think that there's corruption in our government, but it's always been there. But now that we're finding out it's like this big thing and everybody's going around saying, no, it wasn't this. Well, we're looking into it with our own people and whatever. But there are so many other things I'm more concerned about that are happening or are potentially going to happen than whether Trump pissed on a bed or or said, that Obama was wiretapping him. I mean, he's a fucking president. He should know better he can't be a blowhard right now. Dude, I don't think you realize you are the president. And I don't feel like he has any government experience. And he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And he's just used to, vomiting out the mouth and having it be just provocative and just a thing he does. But you're the president. This can get us into shit now. So this whole big thing's going on because of some stupid Twitter comments. The end. Ding.
Oh, that was very good. Yeah, I'm so sorry about the ding, but we got to keep it flowing. And I just got a little message.
I like the ding.
He'll be joining us momentarily. But I would ask the panel, if you hear a ding, because I'm multitasking here, and regardless of what the honey badgers say, women are good at it, men suck at it. So I'm doing my very best, but I may miss something. So if I ding somebody and their point is poignant and they should continue, just ignore the ding. If everybody else is happy with what's being said, go ahead. And Dankula should be joining us any minute. But Britisher, I know you've been listening to this. I'm not even going to add a chat question right now. I'm still going back because you are our resident. Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to sort of cut in. Amanda just basically said, this is sort of politics as usual. But is this politics as usual? Because if you think of it, the wiretap allegation is the equivalent of sort of accusing someone of the equivalent of Watergate. And the Russian collusion allegation, that is effectively an allegation of treason. Now, this is not politics as usual. This is not how it normally works. There may be allegations usually of conflicts of interest or such a thing, or usually it's just quarrels about ideas or taxes or this and that. But these are so severe allegations, they're completely out of proportion to anything that would be usual politics. And yet on either side, they are backed up by, well, apparently nothing. And to put it in context, today, I think it was the Iraqi Prime Minister who was at the White House. And it wasn't caught by the cameras, apparently, but the press caught it and they reported it. When Trump and the Iraqi Prime Minister left the room, the Iraqi Prime Minister took Trump by the arm and jokingly said, "Oh, and by the way, we didn't have anything to do with the wiretap also." And you just sort of thought, this is what it's come to. It's now an international joke. So yeah.
Thank you so much, British. And I really wanted to, and remember, when you hear the first ding, that's only a reminder that you have 30 seconds left. That's for everyone. So the first ding, don't let it throw you off, kind of ignore it. But when you hear the second ding, it's time to kind of, get it done. That said, listen, folks, I am so honored by a sheer mishap of I don't even know how to say it. What do you call it? A fortunate accident I'm trying to think of right now. A serendipity. By an accident of serendipity, I sent this gentleman that has had 2.5 million views on a very, very funny video, a picture of me doing what I do on my day-to-day, and it did happen to be interesting to him. And so he condescended to respond to me, as some people do sometimes. And I got to listen, I don't want to pump it up too much because, Dankula, a lot of people think that you're this, in your face, tough guy. And I will say this, you have a wonderful wit, but you're just like the rest of us. There's nothing different or special about you other than you can type while you're gaming and you have a brilliant mind and you're an excellent comedian. So that said, sir, what I'd like to do is, I'm just going to stop everybody where they were at. I'd like to give you as much time as you'd like right now to kind of tell our audience, most people are probably here for you, what's going on right now in your life for those that don't know.
Well, I'm currently on bail just now for a hate crime charge in regards to the Nazi pug video. They classed it as a hate crime and I was arrested and held in prison pending a court date. I was then released pending my trial, which was supposed to take place last week. But when I went in for my pre-trial diet, I was told that the trial is now being delayed by 2 months due to the fact that witnesses couldn't attend. So I'm sort of still hanging in limbo just now in regards to the trial. It's just a case of wait and see at this point.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to let it go around. I want to make a quick disclaimer for anybody that's got a problem with his mic. I talked to him. This is known between all of us. So if it's a little scratchy, just pay attention. I could hear everything he said. So if you want to shit post in the thing, do whatever you got to do. But I will say this, we are all honored to have him here. And what I want to do now, Dank, if you're done with that little bit, because listen, Dankula's been on Alex Jones. I think I saw him on Stefan Mal. I've seen him so many places, I get it confused in my head where he's been to share the story. And again, sir, listen, I'm not going to sit here and kiss your butt forever all day, but I will say he's answered all of the questions that we're going to ask him probably 75 times. But he's taking time out of his life right now. He just told you he thought it was going to be over. Anybody that has not had a court case pending on them does not know what that sword of Damocles is hanging over your head. And when you think it comes to an end, it's going to come to an end, and then it's still not. It is hellacious. So the one I was going to go to just dropped off. So what I'm going to do is, Based Mama, do you have anything that you'd like to ask Dankula? And I don't want to put anybody on the spot. There's no order here. If you don't, I'll move on to somebody else. But is there anything that you'd like to ask Dank?
Yes. It's probably a dumb question, but what part of Scotland are you from?
I'm from Coatbridge. It's in a place called Lanarkshire. It's not far outside of Glasgow.
My family comes from Cumnock.
Cumnock?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's pretty cool. I've never been, but I know what it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's a shithole. Don't worry.
Is
You're
it
not
most
missing
cities
anything
are?
except heroin. It's fine.
Oh,
Oh, we've got plenty of that here. Don't worry.
Well, so you
I
don't need
doubt
any more.
Dankula's missing heroin too. I must say.
Yeah.
All right, so well, we know where he's from, and I don't think he's worried about being doxxed. And the
Okay.
reason why is because everybody knows where he is. If you go to his Twitter thing, you can see there him in the messed up handcuffs too, not like handcuffs with a chain, the one that keeps your hands like this, and it's a bar in between them. And he's Dankula. To your credit, brother,
I like the
you
picture.
are, yes, and you're a credit to the Scottish race because you're like smiling. You got some bloke behind you that's all, giving you the ugly eye. So we know where he's from. Amanda Wolfchild, I'm going to kick it to you, and I'm going to try to shut up. I'm just so stoked. So I really need to watch my clock here, Amanda. And if you have a question for Count Dankula, go ahead.
I really don't know about you, Count Dankula. I hadn't seen your channel or anything, so I don't. I guess. So I got
Nazi
kicked out of
pug.
the stream again.
Yeah, the Nazi pug. I'd say, look, that's okay.
It
And
was
Dankula,
hilarious.
yeah. Dankula, just tell us once again, so that because I believe she is probably the only one on the panel that would say that at this moment. But and it's no disrespect to you. But what did you do that landed you in all this trouble, mate?
It was basically I taught my dog to get excited whenever I said the phrase "gas the Jews," and also to do a Hitler salute whenever he wants a treat. Yeah, the cops when they arrested me says that, and this is legit what they actually said. They said that the video could inspire people to become Nazis.
What?
I'm not joking. Why do you think? Why do you think I'm laughing?
Pugs are inspirational creatures.
Oh my goodness,
That's why I'm laughing while I'm getting arrested. I came out. I was laughing when I was coming down the stairs. Like, am I really being arrested for this? Like, see when the cops said we're actually here to arrest you, I started laughing like, right, yeah, very good. And they were like, no, we're here to arrest you. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, I'm getting arrested for that. And then when I get led out the house, there was tons of reporters standing there to take my picture, and all my neighbours are all out looking out their windows, looking like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm just laughing my ass off, getting loaded into the back of a police car.
Oh man, sorry, what would have been the best thing in the world? If when they told you they were arresting you for that, you'd let your dog out. And so as they're dragging you out, you start saying shit to get the dog all excited and
Oh god.
saluting. That's what I'd have done. I'd have let my dog out.
Yes,
We're gonna get so far off of the weeds with this. Go ahead, Britisher, and then I'm gonna kick it on. We'll get back on track here.
When they make the film about this, they will have to add the dog doing a Nazi salute as the car drives off.
Yes, like
It's
through
just
the
gonna
window
have to
or
be
in the
there,
lawn
isn't
or
it?
something.
It's like goose stepping behind the car.
Like saying goodbye to his master that he loves so much. And I gotta say this before we travel on too. I am Jewish. My grandfather on my mother's side is Scottish, believe it or not, Dankula. That's why the red beard. But the rest of me is Jewish. And as a Jewish person, spawn of Jews that are proud of it, I gotta say this. When I first saw that, listen, we need comedy, not for the things that make us cozy and comfy. We need comedy because we got raped, or because we got, someone in our family was murdered, and that's where I'm going to, the murder. And so when I saw that, my grandfather was in Buchenwald, sir. He was in Buchenwald. He lived through it, and he survived by eating rats, and Jews don't want to eat pork, let alone rats. And when I saw that, when you were like, gas the Jews, son, you call him son, hey, son. And every time, and he's like, it made me forget about the evil that was intrinsic in that thing. And you allowed me to laugh at something that hurts me so bad, brother. I couldn't pay you enough for that comedy. So now listen, I think we've had Amanda and we've had Base Mama. If I'm going to kick it on, well, Day just hit her microphone, but Day, if you have something to ask Dankula, I'd like you to start, and then we'll go to the big boys.
Oh, no. I'm not a big boy.
Well, 'cause you're a big girl. Go ahead, girl.
Big boy. I'm a big man. Oh, yeah. So I was gonna say, you actually, I know you were having trouble like finding work because you got fired from your job over all this, just to add to insult to injury. And so you got a new job, and I hear you guys shave the beard.
Yeah, I need to shave the beard, which is disappointing. It's the fact is, like, when I got the job and everything, it's like a really good job, and like they all know about like the trial and the video. So the guy was even like, prepare yourself for when you come to work here because everyone's going to make fun of you. I was like, that's fine. But he said, and I was happy the fact that I got a job. Like, this job fixes so many problems. And then at the end he went, oh, but you'll need to shave your beard though. And my face just sort of dropped, but I tried my hardest not to look unappreciative. But like, I'm so unhappy that I need to shave my beard.
Dan, do you mind telling us what you do? Do you mind saying on air what it is that you do for a living? And if you don't want to, sir, I understand.
I know. Well, what I'm doing just now is I do security. I used to be a bouncer, but then since Nazi pug happened, I kept getting recognised, and when you're trying to throw a guy out of a club, it's hard for him to take you seriously when he knows you're the Nazi pug guy. And like there was an occasion where I even walked into the toilets and caught 3 guys in one of the cubicles doing coke, and that came up and I just sort of like pushed the door open and went, right, get the fuck out. And they all turned around and went, aha, Zeke.
Oh, God. People are going to be doing that to you all the time now.
I still get it. I still get it all the time. People like drive past me and shout Zeke Heil out the car window as they drive by, and I'm just, cool, man.
I'm going to save my question
everybody
for a
gets
second.
the joke.
Because I have something to ask. A lot of people probably think something about that, Dankula, but I'll ask my question as soon as I'm going to bounce it to the bastard. Do you have anything to add here? Any questions to ask?
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. So
good one.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the people around you, like in your neighborhood or whatever, are good natured about it. But like, what are you looking at as far as like if they find you guilty? Do you know what the law calls for?
Maximum sentence is 1 year in prison. That's what I can get as the maximum. Yeah.
Wow.
There's obviously other options like suspended sentence and stuff like that.
Right.
Obviously, other factors in the sense of I wasn't exactly an angel when I was younger.
Right.
That was years and years ago. Nothing bad. I just got into fights a lot. Stupid things. Drunk outside a bar. Start throwing punches at each other, that Scottish things. Nothing bad. But
and Dankula, you don't consume, you don't imbibe anymore, is that correct?
No, I don't drink anymore. For that reason, I always got into fights, so I stopped drinking completely. I actually don't drink at all now.
And now you're in the most trouble you've ever been in.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, Britisher, look, I want to round this off with you, and then I have a question I want to ask Dankula because a lot of people are probably confused about his situation. So, Britt, what you got to add to this?
Well, I mean, first off, of course, it's an honor to finally know where the Daleks come from.
I don't get it.
You would need to know Doctor Who to know that one. Yes.
Oh.
But,
how dare you? How dare you? Oh,
the important folks got it. Dan got the joke. So go ahead, carry on, Brett. Crack on, sir.
No, I mean, I'm just absolutely. I mean, you heard me. The guy who was laughing like crazy before when you said the police told you that this was Nazi propaganda and they actually thought that this would turn people into Nazis.
Yeah.
I mean, so that is really the basis of the prosecution, is it? That what you did is Nazi propaganda?
Yeah, pretty much. They felt it was normalizing Nazism and it would actually turn people into Nazis.
There is that wonderful word normalizing again that I absolutely hate.
Because apparently Nazism is something that could just be accepted into everyday life. Like that's a possibility.
It goes back. I mean, I've sort of got a history of sort of struggling with censorship in my past, and that idea, that concept that seems to be in people's minds like a virus of basically what you see, you become.
Yeah.
So basically, you know, hence God knows how much porn is banned in Britain, because should we see it, we'd all become sex beasts or rapists.
Yeah.
God knows how much violence needs to be banned in films, because otherwise, of course, we would all be out there beheading each other.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you see a dog do a Nazi salute, well, then obviously, if you see it often enough, you must become a Nazi. And you just sort of think, I'm sorry, but what twisted mind could possibly, because it was so obviously a joke.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, is there the possibility? I mean, is there the possibility that the judge may eventually just see this and just say, you know, look at the prosecution and just point to the door and go, get out of here?
Two judges have already seen it, and they've decided to move ahead with the case.
This is just, I mean, it's just ridiculous on such a level that it's, you know.
no,
I think,
But to be clear, the answer to that question is no. A reasonable judge, if we want to call them that, two judges have already said, yeah, we want to continue forward with this.
And
You know,
are these
I
judges going to be, are these judges going to be the one overseeing your verdict?
This is the thing, I don't know. I got brought in for something that was called a pre-trial diet, where it's just a sort of a thing where you confirm your name, the charge gets confirmed, and it's a whole "are you fit to stand trial"
Right.
type deal, like to make sure everything's in place to go ahead. And the first time that I went around, the prosecutors didn't have anything for the judge. They didn't have anything, so the judge was like, "What do you have for me right now?" And the prosecutors were like, and I'm trying my best not to smile, and I'm like, "Yeah, because you get fucking jack shit. You probably went through my entire history expecting to find some secret Nazi past or a racist tweet that I made in 2013 or something, and you found nothing. You found jack shit." So they've delayed the trial, and I know why they have. They're trying to wait on me fucking up again. They're hoping that I'll post a video that's a little bit too edgy, but that'll be the thing that they can use to try and get me.
Okay, just so they know, this is not a Nazi armband. You're not on a live stream with Nazis. This is a SOCJUS armband. So
It looks like INSOG, but I want to make.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I
But
see
it's
that.
SOCJUS.
I see that's really good, and I want to make a point, and then I'm going to go backwards. So I'm going to start with the Britisher and work my way back. And thank you, Dank. That's why I fired this up. I want to let you know you can smoke the tobacco product of your choice on this live stream. We do call it the We're All Fucked Live. I can almost guarantee you that the hard bastard is sitting there with a single malt right now. I doubt he smokes pot because it may or may not be legal there, but he may have whatever he smokes. And then the rest of us, we do what we do is the point. So please feel free to do what you do, and no one will judge you here, sir. But what I want to ask you is, listen, I look at your videos and I see that you have a few subscribers and you have, you know, you've got I think it's 2.3. I may have overestimated, but like 2.3 million views on it. So how rich are you? You're very wealthy, right? You've got a Mercedes Benz in the yard. You drive a Ferrari to work, and you're very wealthy. Is that correct?
Yeah, YouTube obviously demonetized the Nazi pug video as soon as they could. That was the thing, is I didn't even know the video was earning money or anything like that. But I think it got to about maybe 400,000 views before YouTube went nah and just demonetized it.
I have looked for it, and I believe Day is Dead is asked. And to date, I'm not going to press you, sir, but I'm saying this live. This is kind of a blindside, but I mean this with all due respect. If you had a GoFundMe, or if you had a way that I could slip you 25 bob, it would already be there. So I'm just going to encourage you. And if you do have some I don't know about, plug it. But I think you don't, do you?
I did have a Patreon, but that was just I've still got it and it's live and stuff. But that was just sort of a basic thing for when I was doing streams and stuff like that. But see, now that I have this new job, I'm earning the highest wage that I'll have ever earned in my entire life.
Well, but sir, how much is it to defend yourself? I hate to even cut you off, but you're acting like you have a stiffer upper lip than some of the flat out Englishmen I know, because you're sitting there talking about, and we'll get into this later, so I don't want to blow it, but you say some things on some recent videos, man, that I'm telling you, I've been in some situations like you're in, where the sword is hanging over your head, where you're in the pit and the pendulum is swinging. And I know what it feels like when you can't sleep at night. I know what it feels like when haggis doesn't taste good anymore and black pudding, you turn your nose up to it. I know what that feels like. And now they give you 2 more months. Like you said, they're trying to wait you out. So I think the point has been made. And so without belaboring, unless you want to say something else, because he's not here to beg, folks. And whoever's watching, he did not tell me to say this, but I'm going to encourage you, sir, because of the cost of prosecution, because you have already said some things that we'll bring up later that shows that you are a true man, willing to stand on his own 2 feet without anyone's help. Please get some way where a Yank like myself that may have, I'm a Jew, man. You know, I got a few bucks laying around the side. It's the fucking truth. We do. I got a little bit of money. This is our money I'm wearing. My daggone silk handkerchief probably was enough to get your lawyer to defend you. So get a GoFundMe. I'm not going to belabor it because I'm probably embarrassing him now, but I'm not going to belabor it. But get a GoFundMe. Get some way that us that want to help, and he's going to get into it, why we can't help the way some of us want.
Yeah, it's mostly because I earn below a certain threshold. Like I'm actually qualified for a lawyer through legal aid, so basically my lawyer's covered. That's why I didn't have to crowdfund to pay for my defense or anything like that, because I earned under a benchmark so that I could get it.
Yeah, but sir, with all due respect, that lawyer is friends with the judge. So what I'm going to do now, instead of beating us up, because they're buddies, they play golf together. That's what we call here. That's a public pretender, not a public defender.
Right,
so
okay.
you don't, with all due respect, sir, you could use some good legal counsel. And if anybody hearing this wants to do it, just tell Dank. And I'm going to move on. Like I said, I'll be labored. I was a preacher for years, and we're good about passing the hat around. So I'm going to go right now to I'm going to start with a hard bastard and go to Brisher and then work my way backwards. So hard bastard, you got to have something you want to say or you want to ask.
Yeah, like, are they, I guess, whether it be lawyers or whatever, or the prosecutors, I mean, it seems like they're going on the internet to kind of try to dig up stuff for you. Do you think it would hurt your case if people kind of made videos defending you, or would you rather people just kind of like wait it out and see what happens?
No, it's like I've had a lot of people like coming out in my defence. I've had like a lot of large YouTubers and everybody as well when I've met like quite a lot of people through it. I haven't found a single video actually attacking me for the joke, even from the SJW side. And usually they would fucking dive right on top of something like that. Yeah, but like I've had nothing. There's not been a single video attacking like the Nazi pug thing, because almost everyone is seeing it as a joke, which is why I find it really sketchy that I'm not getting a jury. I'm not getting a jury at all. It's just a judge. I'm getting it. It's the judge I have to convince, because like even though jury cases carry higher sentences, if it was a jury case, the maximum sentence is 5 years.
You'd never get found guilty though by jury.
Exactly, because a jury of my peers, well, it's handy that 99.9% of my peers all know that it's a joke.
They would have to watch that video and not laugh. And now I really need to be quiet. But since you mentioned that, we got to keep this kicking on to the panel members. Also, Dank, we do love you here, but we got a lot of people. There is someone with us that just happens to be the next one in line that has made a video. I believe you've seen it. I saw your comment on it. So, Britisher, add something to this, brother.
Well, what I would like to ask is, are you familiar with the Paul Chambers case? You know, the Nottingham Airport joke trial.
Yeah, he made was that a tweet where he said he was going to bomb the airport or something like that, and then he got arrested.
Yeah,
Am I thinking of the same one?
Obviously a joke.
Yeah.
So in his case, it wasn't hate crime, but it was someone who has made, again, an obvious joke that was, I mean, it could have no other reasoning other than being a joke. And I mean, in his case, it was it Al Murray and Stephen Fry, who then got behind him with his appeal, and he won that way.
Yeah,
he won on appeal. But basically, I mean, you're a comedian. You would sort of think surely there would have to be someone like that somewhere in the woodwork who would come out and say, look, what the hell is going on in this country? Because I mean, when it came to the Nottingham Airport thing, I mean, everyone was astonished because it was so self-evidently a joke that it was just shocking that anybody should be prosecuted for that. And so I
have to do this to you, Brits. You have to unpack that a wee bit, because just the way you bantered that back, we don't even unless a bastard.
There was you may be familiar. A few years ago, there was a volcano that broke out in Iceland. and it caused lots of smoke that drifted over the North Atlantic, and it disrupted flights across the Atlantic because planes couldn't go through the volcano smoke. It would clog up their engines.
Yeah.
So a huge amount of flights were either were cancelled outright or were delayed. So some guy tweeted, I'm paraphrasing here, you know, if by tomorrow midday Nottingham Airport hasn't got its act together, I'm going to bomb the bloody place. And that was because the next day he had his flight. So of course they then prosecuted this guy for terrorism.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh, okay.
Clearly,
I don't want to belabor it, so continue on with whatever.
so
now we get the joke.
He had made a comment that you know, was interpreted to somehow be threatening towards this airport, even though it was plain to see for anybody that there was absolutely no intent to bomb Nottingham Airport whatsoever. So he was actually initially he was found guilty, and I mean the public was just outraged. No one could believe that this had happened, and then two nationally known comedians got behind this guy and supported him, and he did an appeal at the Court of Appeal in London and won and got off, and everybody was very relieved.
Well, that explains. But what I see here is the thread, and I've got to kick it today. She's next, but what I see going on is a thread that there's something happening at the Mother Island. And for those of you that don't understand, it was a civil war. This is where we sprung from. I don't care if you come from Nigeria. If you're here and you're speaking English,
it is definitely a warning to you guys in America, as in, do not under any circumstance go down this alley.
Dankula, and a day, as soon as he answers this, and I'm going to keep this in 10 seconds, and then you answer as quickly as you can, Dank, because I don't want to cut anybody else. What do you think, as you're going through this, is there a joke a person should be prosecuted for, sir?
No, see if the intent was clear. Even that tweet that guy posted, that just sounds like classic British grumpiness. Like that's not a terroristic threat. It's just a case of, I think people just want to see the outrage where they want outrage. I think the main reason that I was actually prosecuted is because the papers generated outrage. I think that the main reason that guy would have been prosecuted is because the media and papers generated outrage, because outrage sells papers. Like, there's so many people that have had their lives ruined just because the papers take a story, spin it, and blow it out into something that it's absolutely not, just because they want to make money, and it ends up hurting people. But the papers don't care; they only care about their pocket.
Man, it always seems about money. Always seems like it's about money. Day, whenever you want to jump in when he gets a break, go ahead and do it.
Oh yeah, the papers want to sensationalize things, and then it brings national attention, and then there's a witch hunt against, you know, mundane jokes. And I find it funny that they postponed your trial because so the prosecutors had nothing.
No, they didn't have anything. They said they were waiting on an electronic report coming back.
Oh, what are they? Electronic report from what? They searched your computers or something?
No, it's like the cops did say we very well could seize your computers, but you're lucky we're not doing that.
I wish they would, because they wouldn't find shit. It'd be more evidence in your defense. Like, I think
they could probably find some files that would get me committed of a different kind of crime. I'm joking.
But yeah, nothing regarding being a Nazi. But yeah, I find it funny because, like, especially if they go through your whole channel, because I like binged watched your stuff once I found your channel, and you are hilarious. The more context you get, and the less like just the media sensationalizing this one video you put out, the more context you get with watching the more of your videos. It's obviously a joke, and especially with what you put out after. I don't know if that can help you, because you've basically been pleading in earnest. Like, you can tell the sincerity on your face in those videos that you just explained it very honestly. And I don't know how well, that's the thing, you're not getting a jury.
Dang, I loved you. I should have done you. This is good though, folks. This is good stuff. But what I gotta say is, Base Mama has had her microphone off, and as an alpha female, I know she wants to speak. I gotta ask one thing before I pass it to her and let her turn her microphone on. There's some questions, Dankula, and I just gotta say this. I'm gonna say this with my glasses off. Say what you want, shitlords, but when you ask stupid questions about what something may be in his beard or whatever, I'm not going to ask him, asshole. So go ahead and ask a real fucking question for Count Dankula, or suck my Jew balls. And that said, well, there's people asking some weird questions that I'm not. That's my way of saying, girl, that I'm not going to ask him some of the things that I've seen over here. That's all. You can see the chat. So I will ask you this though: Are traps gay? And I think he means trap music.
I think see the people that are asking like weird questions. That'll probably be some of the subscribers from my channel.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I love all my followers to bits, but some of them are the most fucked up people I've ever met.
Well, fuck it then. You want me to ask you this one question? You can probably see him if you want. I'll ask you the one question that you may have seen.
Is it what was that? Is it traps? Are traps gay? Is that
no? That's what I asked. But
is it something about the anus?
Okay, see what I mean? It's actually, what does the smell of some cum? What does your girlfriend think about the smell of cum in your beard? And now let's move on. Let's move the fuck on. I tried to be stern. I did the look at the camera thing. Okay, all right. So to answer that question, let me get to the real question. But this is the only one like this. It's Dankula. Listen, if you don't think it's a good sport, again, you all can suck my Jew balls. So the question is, oh my goodness, I got to find it now. Count Dankula. What does your girlfriend think of the smell? Because I'm not gonna say her name out loud. Of the smell of cum in your beard.
I don't usually actually get cum in my beard. Not saying that, you know, I haven't had a bit of friendly fire. There was one time where I was getting a hand job from a girl and it hit me in my own face, and that was pretty fucking awkward. But I didn't have my beard.
All right.
So yeah. So
that was a way more genuine answer than I was expecting. Actually,
say that sir was a Gavin McGinnis answer. That was a. That said, we're going to move on now, and we can get into this. Listen, if Dankula is kind enough to stay on after the second segment, because listen, I got to look at the time here. Here in about 3 minutes, folks, we're going to take a little break for 5 so that Dan can do whatever it is that he does, and we can all use the restroom and have a little break. But before I do that, I see 2 microphones off. So, Based Mama, if you're ready, in 5, 4. Yep, she's ready. So, Based Mama has something to ask you, I'm sure.
Well, it's not really something to ask. It's more of an observation. I'm glad that the entire nation of Scotland has a lower crime rate than fucking Disneyland if they're pursuing this kind of bullshit. This is so ridiculous. I can't even believe that they would entertain this, that they would waste taxpayer dollars on this, that they would even give this a moment's thought. This is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. And it doesn't really make Scotland look like it's not a country full of sheep fuckers.
Scotland, where the weather's rubbish and the sheep are nervous. Yeah, I felt that whole saying, yeah.
Thank you so much, Mama. All right, so listen, folks, the timer will still be here, but obviously when Count Dankula is here, comedy ensues. So if you were expecting something serious, we tried. It ain't going to work. So look, that said, I got to let, because we're coming close to a hard break here. So let me pass it on to Amanda Wolfchild. You probably have something to add or ask or say. And I'm going to give you 5, 4. She has children. 3, 2. There she is. Go ahead, Amanda Wolfchild.
Well, I just wanted to say, I think that part of the reason why people take such a hard-nosed view towards anything, even joking when it comes to Nazis, is like you even saw it in the Nuremberg trials. You had one of the officers there who really they couldn't credit him with having been a part of any of the atrocity. He just was an officer in the German army, and he said, "No, I am at fault. We are all at fault because we were all a part of this, and you have to make us at fault so that people hate this, so that it is seen as a heinous thing, so this never happens again." So I think that because of just the atrocity and how we were all able to see it played out before us on camera, that was the first real thing like that we saw in the media. I think it hits more an emotional level with some people, and they can't separate that emotion logically from just it's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well said. So that said, listen, Dankula, why don't you take us out, and then we are going to go. We're just everybody, whoever wants to can stay. But as soon as I say this, I'm going to cancel out. I'm going to go do what boys do when they drink too much beer, Dankula. I haven't learned a lesson. I got to say this too, brother. You are, and we just got joined by Madwoman Muses. I thank you so much, ma'am. I'm going to give you a plug here in a minute while Dank is stalling. We got a bunch of people watching, but until then, Dank, if you want to take us out, and then you feel free to go do whatever it is that you need to do or whatever, and we'll come back in 5 as soon as you're done.
I don't know what you mean by take us out. I'm kind of new to that, man. I don't know what to do.
Well, I'll tell you. Let me lead you then, sir. You were saying on one of your videos, there's a lot of people that probably want to help you by like writing letters or making phone calls or whatever, because I mentioned one way they could help you out. That is if you put up a GoFundMe or something, maybe they'll send you a few dollars to get something other than a public pretender. So what could people do right now to help you out? And be honest, be open. You're a very emotional, nice guy. Be honest. What can they do to help you out?
I think if people with a lot bigger voices, I don't mean in mainstream media at all. Mainstream media can take a backseat. I mean, see people like YouTubers or people that have a large platform where they can reach a lot of people. I think the more and more people that get made aware of this, and the more and more public outcry that it causes, because the vast majority of public outcry is this man really getting fucking charged with this bullshit, right? So I think the more and more people that see the case and acknowledge that it is complete fucking nonsense, and the louder we make the noise will encourage the cops more to realise that they're making a mistake, and just for the whole thing to get scrapped. That's why I think awareness.
We should get PewDiePie on this. He just had a thing with a Nazi scandal where he's not a Nazi. Should get PewDiePie to do it.
And I'd like to thank everybody for joining the We're All Fucked Live. We're going to take 5. We're going to enjoy ourselves for a little bit as you're enjoying yourselves now in your favorite settee, recliner, rocker, whatever it may be. And we'll be right back. That said, now would be a perfect time, because I'm done with my announcer shit. Now, Madwoman Muses, while we're gone for 5 minutes, if you have a couple, as long as Dank don't need to leave, and Dank, please feel free to do whatever you got to do. Yeah. Go ahead and jump in if you have any questions for him. Anyone else, and the rest of the Madcap crew will be back in 5 minutes.
I'm gonna chill here.
Yeah, you chill here, girl. I'm gone though for 5 minutes. Bye.
Bye. Hi, Madwoman.
Hey.
Okay.
I think this is what, my first stream with you over here, Amanda.
Oh.
That we're not in the chat.
I think Amanda.
Yeah, her internet keeps kicking her out.
Yeah, I'm surprised mine hasn't gone out yet. It's been acting up all day. But yeah, we should get PewDiePie on this shit.
No. You should get Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry is a Jew.
Okay, yeah. If we get Jew defense, that's all the better.
Dankula, have you ever considered, just as a defense, not saying anything, but just pressing play on a DVD player and playing them the producers,
Yeah,
or Hitler,
or the Great Dictator.
Yeah, if they don't get the parallel, they will never get anything, will they?
Yeah, it's like the fact is like Borat even had a scene in it where it became kind of a meme in our group where Borat went on stage and sang a song called "Throw the Jew Down the Well."
Yeah,
and Borat got a Golden Globe, but I get arrested. That's not exactly fair. But like, where's my fucking Golden Globe for Nazi Pug?
Yeah, it's better actually.
Has there actually been? Sorry, go on, Day.
I was just gonna make a quick comment. Hold on.
I almost pissed on myself. Go ahead, Day, and then I gotta say something. Oh my god.
I was gonna make a quick comment that, like, I feel like the more you parody and mock Nazis or white supremacists, the more it takes the piss out of them, and the less powerful they get. Because nobody's like the more you mock someone, and it is all mocking, because no one thinks it's cool to be a Nazi. It's offensive to be a Nazi, and that's basically what you're saying. And the more you knock it and take the piss out of it,
there are lots of high school dropout losers who are proud to be Nazis.
Yeah, but they're right. Yeah. So, I gotta say this though, Dankula. Not only did he sing that, like you said, I've seen the movie, and He got a crowd of Texans at a rodeo to sing "Throw the Jew Down the Well."
Yeah,
It's not like he did that.
along.
Yeah, singing along the words. You have to hear the words to sing them. And these brainwashed Dankula, this is why. I know this is, I don't want to get too serious, but this is why it's so serious. And I still got 3 minutes on my break. I'm going to disappear. It's so serious because you've got these people that will mindlessly sing "Throw the Jew Down the Well," where these morons that wear a hat like my fake, and people think that stuff's real. That is a construct making fun of right-wing. Anybody ever see Stephen Colbert? That's where I got my kind of some of my ideas before he went full retard on us. But that said, isn't that why it's dangerous, brother? You can see that it's a fucking joke, mate.
Yeah. I think they made a really good point in the sense that, see how like Nazism itself, it's obviously like the government and like the whole PC community are trying to associate it as this whole dark, taboo, mysterious thing, which I feel gives it that kind of allure where people would feel proud to feel part of something like that. But see if Nazi ideology is constantly ridiculed and made fun of and treated as a joke, nobody wants to associate themselves with something that's considered as an embarrassment. And
Exactly.
that's what I would like to see happen. I want to see it. See, whenever, like, I've had it before where actual Nazis come into my Discord and try and talk, and they just get the shit taken right out of them. Like, everyone just makes fun of them. And all
Yeah.
that. Like, I want actual Nazis to be seen as a complete joke. I want the entire thing to be seen as an embarrassment. Like, because that's the way I see it. Like, obviously, World War II, the Holocaust, and all that was an absolutely terrible thing. But I want actual Nazis to be met with nothing but absolute mockery.
Yeah, and I
Because
feel
that
like
was all,
the fact that we can make fun of them now shows like how far we've come from that, because they used to actually, like, I feel like the more we treat it in this way with like arresting people and you can't even talk about Nazis, the more that's going to actually embolden real Nazis, like real Nazis, not real Nazis, but real Nazis. They're going to like that they're getting that attention, and people are going to see it as a sort of like, the more taboo you make something, the more you get the weirdos following it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. And if you mock it, it doesn't normalize it, it ostracizes it. It makes it stupid to be a Nazi. Otherwise, you're making like, oh shit, there's Nazis, and people with like alternative views or whatever might actually look into it in a serious nature. But it's not something that should be taken serious. It should have the piss taken out of it all the time because it's fucking ridiculous. And if you're a Nazi, you're full of shit. And it's stupid.
It's
Sorry.
like, would you think Hitler would have been more happy with his entire legacy to be treated
Yeah!
with fear, or his legacy to be treated as an absolute fucking joke?
Exactly.
What do you
Hitler
think he'd
would
been happier
hate
with?
this. Hitler would not like this.
Yeah.
He'd like for it to be seen
Joke.
as a serious thing.
Dankula, I want to bring my Doberman Pinscher in here and make her do something I did on another live stream, but with you here, sir, out of respect, I won't do it.
My cat goose steps,
But
and I
I'll tell you
call her.
one thing. No, go ahead, Dave.
My cat's name is Fira, and I call her mine Fira because she like goose steps all over the place. And her mother is Adolf Hitler. So
No, I want to remind everybody this is not Dankula's thing here. Anybody else here says anything, if you people are watching,
we're taking the piss out of Nazis. None of us are Nazis.
Dankula does not
already writing an article.
Well, I know they're watching him. I know they're watching him, mate. I know they are. So I just want to say that whatever we say is our business. This is my live stream. Check the IP, and if brother, I will say, if anything happens from this live stream, I'll submit anything they want. This has nothing to do with him. So if we say what's on our mind, Day is dead as an American. And if she wants to say she goose steps it in, hey, that's the way it is.
My cat does it naturally. I'm not joking, and it's
my Fuhrer was hilarious, girl. That was.
It's a joke as
look,
well.
Yeah, it's just a joke. That's part of the problem. Is I will say once again as we start the second half of the I guess you could call it serious bit. We've already asked some pretty strange questions from the chat, and we're going to go on in that vein. But as we start this, I gotta say once again, Dankula, that we don't, as a Jew, I needed the joke you said, because I don't need a joke about puppy dogs and flowers because they don't hurt me. When I think about my grandfather in Buchenwald, when I think about him making Nazi uniforms, that's one of the things they did there. When I think about him punching through the leather to make the jackboots that are going to stomp on his face while he's wearing a paper uniform in the cold. When I think about my grandfather in Buchenwald, and then you came out with Gas the Jew's son, and the sir, that's why I need your comedy, because then I can actually look at what's, and listen, I'm not trying to bring it down to some serious level. So now that I said my little piece, two things. This is my channel. Everybody that is on here, except apparently Cabbage Patch Bastard and the Britisher, can say whatever they want because we're Americans. You two better watch it. They might arrest your asses. And listen, since he just showed up, I'm going to start backwards again. I'm going to start with Hard Bastard, Britisher. I'm going to go to Madwoman Muses, Day is Dead. Then I'm going to go to Base Mama, and then Cabbage Patch Bastard. He just joined us, and I know he has some questions for you. This is one of your countrymen also, if you see the Cabbage Patch head there, Dankula. He's one of your countrymen. He does, I can't say where, but and from where I'm from, nobody lives far from you in Great Britain. So he doesn't live far from you. He's your countryman. So I don't forget I forgot who I said first, but I'm going to start with Hard Bastard. I know you got something to add to this, brother, and you've got 3 minutes to do it.
Yeah, I think the thing about this that's unique is usually the media, when they go after people, they're going after like PewDiePie. He's a well-known YouTuber. They're going after YouTubers about like monetization and shit. But this is a situation where the media went after like just a regular guy. Like this is just, and it's not monetization or any sort of financial thing that's at stake. It's his freedom, and I think that's one of the things that makes this extra egregious. And journalists that do this are abusing their power, and it's completely unconscionable that they would do something like this and make a huge deal out of this, because it seems like from what Dank is saying is that if they had been rational and not made a big deal out of this, this probably would have blown over.
Yeah, I've attributed it to two reporters in particular that wrote damaging articles about me. One of them was a gentleman that works for the Scottish Sun called Paul Thornton. I called him out on Twitter, and another person was called Xantha Letham. I've called both of the reporters out, and I've invited them onto a stream to justify their articles, because I've already disproved their articles, but I just thought it would be interesting to hear them try and justify it. And both of them have refused. Yeah, they both refused. Yeah.
Dankula, I got to press you a little bit on this. What about it? Because I've heard you say it on your channel, so you must not mind saying it. What about, you said there's a shop owner that reads the papers, and I think you said he works on cars. I've watched all your videos. Yeah. Do you have anything right now you'd like to say to him, or would you like to tell us, what is this, some moron that just like gives you hell on your day-to-day?
No, it's just that it was just random people. I was just sort of having a dig at like people that read the Sun. The Sun's like a complete tabloid newspaper that only idiots really pay attention to. Like nobody cares about anything that's written in that paper.
Thank you, Dank. I use that as a source all the time.
I did warn you. I warned you.
I did. And listen, I don't want to get off the weeds, but I do. But look, you got to find news in various places. And what I do is, as Cabbage knows, I use something as a jump off place. So look, that was a great question, Hard Bastard. I'm going to try to move it along a little faster, but I'm going to give the Britisher 3 minutes, and then I want to pop it off to everybody. I'm going to give everybody a minute because I know everybody wants to jump in, and we got a whole panel here. Hit it, Britt.
Well, I remember seeing an interview on, it could have been the BBC, I don't know, with a rather well-known comedian who was speaking about Mel Brooks and, you know, the whole Springtime for Hitler and the Producers saga. And he basically said that it was as a totally taboo subject, that you couldn't go near the Nazis until Mel Brooks, who of course, in a way, he had carte blanche because he himself was a Jew.
Yeah.
When he did it, he kind of opened the gates. And that effectively gave people permission to make fun of the Nazis again. Well, again, for the first time ever. And it's rather interesting as to who this man was. You know, the person doing the interview. It was John Cleese. And of course, John Cleese is rather well known for a particular Hitler impression.
Yeah.
You know,
Faulty Towers.
And you know, he was never arrested for it. You know, it wasn't as if he trained his dog. He did it himself, and he did it on the BBC.
Oh, and my mercy's sake, he had like this, and he it was the way it escalated. For those that you don't know, he started really small by like trying some German words because they had these rich German people coming to his struggling little like bed and breakfast / one. And like, I don't want to get off the weeds, but it is amazing that what we now see as comedy gold, that does that rerun in your country now?
Oh, I mean, you know, Faulty Towers is generally regarded as one of the greatest sitcoms ever made in this country.
So they will play it on now. They will play it again on TV now. You see the same where it's doing the high goose step. And
although you wouldn't believe it, that they've even begun editing Faulty Towers now. So one or two of the comments in Faulty Towers, where, for example, the old major makes one or two racist remarks, they have since now been cut out when they air it on BBC.
My God, really? I've got the original.
So they are now even cutting Faulty Towers. So you can see
Day is dead. Rock and roll. Susie's done.
Full social justice.
I was just asking, like, why is it now? Like, more time has passed since the Holocaust and World War II. Why is it all of a sudden so sensitive? Where everybody kind of got it before, it seems.
Social justice, virtue signaling. It's that disease.
Yeah. I just hate that it's like coming down to the law and actually people being punished by it.
Yeah, but the social justice warriors have got into the legal system, haven't they? That's the problem, and you are really a victim of that. I mean, seriously,
I want to expand
Dankula,
on what you said too, brother. I mean, it's like, go ahead and when you're done, but I want to expand. I don't want to go off track of what she just said. Why now? Finish your question, Cabbage Patch.
Well, I think it's a culmination of these events. I think that I think they're getting to the point where they know that either it's double down, shit or bust, you know, and that's why they're pushing people like that. And if they can get a precedent with this poor guy who just made a bit of comedy, then the world's the world is their oyster, isn't it? This is, I mean, you really are kind of a precedent in a way.
Mind you, I don't think it would be a legal precedent because it would be a lower court.
Well, true. But you can still press it to the Supreme Court. I mean, you can still always escalate
it still has to go to sort of the Court of Appeal or something like that before it officially counts as a precedent.
It's a long process.
I still want to go back to why now. Hard Bastard. I want to hear from Count Dankula, Hard Bastard, and Base Mama. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody else, but these are the three that I think I might hear some kind of reasonable. Why
it's a
now?
generational thing. I think it is just a generational thing. I think it was just a case of, you know, how they taught in schools, everyone's a winner, you can be anything if you dream hard enough and all that type of thing. And what's happened is lots of young people who were so used to everything going their way and getting what they wanted have now reached a mature age where they have to go out into the world. They've realised that the world isn't the way they want it to be, so they're going to kick and stomp and cry until it changes. Like, it's just been that's the way I feel it is.
Is it perhaps also the fact that Scotland has basically been run by the Labour Party and then now by the SNP, which is also rather left? And it is the left that is considerably more SJW than anybody else, really.
So you think it's just a question of who's in power now, Brett? Because I really, this question of, I'm not if everybody else wants to move on.
As far as the introduction of the laws is concerned, because of course, you know, Scotland has its separate legal system.
Yeah.
So I would assume
that's all
that
fine,
the
but
Scottish
Day
Parliament
asked the question. Day asked the question, and Day is young. She's a millennial. She's on the cusp of being able to say she's in the next generation, whatever they call it. And she's asking us, Hard Bastard, why now? Based Mama, why now?
Because the spoiled and entitled voices who weren't loud are the loudest now. It's the old phrase, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. They have yelled loud enough and long enough and hard enough for people to say, okay, in order to shut them up, to what they want. That's why now.
That's one answer. I'd like to hear some more because that was actually a reasonable answer. Look at that, Dankula. I'm going to roll one too, brother. Look at that. This is pineapple. This Pineapple Express, my personal favorite. It's totally legal where I'm at, so the police can, you know. I'm sorry, that was a little off, but that was a good answer, Mad Woman Muse. That's why you're in here. So I'm dying to hear from Hard Bastard. Some people in the country here where it's not happened yet. Why now, Hard Bastard?
I think it's difficult as far as an overall answer for that because we're dealing with like several different countries. I think as far as why we're seeing a lot of this on the left, as I think part of the biggest mistake the left made is after it seemed like the left won the gay marriage debate on its merits, and then they also won the keeping creationism out of school. And back then that was done through like winning over minds. And I think after that happened, it seemed like there wasn't a lot of conservatives. So they kind of went into bully mode and figured that they can just now, instead of trying to win people over with arguments, that they can just bully people and say, this is, you know, the next thing we're going to do, and you're just going to accept it because there's not a lot of you. And I think that might be where at least some of this kind of like seems like more of like a fascist attitude that's coming from the left.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would
it's
say that.
anti-fascism, isn't it? That's the irony of the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, they call everybody else fascist. It's much easier to label your opposition the very thing that you are.
I think
folks. This is great stuff. Just keep
racist
going.
and fascist is just used as an excuse to shut people down. It's an absolute cop out. Like, even if you're in no way, even I get called a racist all the time, right? And it's just used as a sort of, diffuse, where you're a racist, so I don't have to listen to you. Your arguments don't matter. Everyone look at this guy. He's a racist. It's just
Absolutely.
racist and Nazis just used to discredit people now. The left have realised that, I don't have to address his arguments and actually have a debate where I'm going to get wrecked. I can just call him a Nazi or a racist, and it means I don't have to address him, and it will discourage other people from addressing him. Like, the words racist and Nazi or fascist are just now a cop-out. That's all they are. They've totally lost meaning. Like, see how... do you remember, like, about 10 years ago, if someone was labelled a full-on racist, the whole taboo sort of, it was quite destructing to your character to be labelled as that. But nowadays, if someone's called a Nazi or a racist, everyone just goes, oh, everyone gets called that.
Yeah, it has. It's lost its, it's lost. I mean, the exchange rate is pretty low, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, look, this is getting a little heavy, so I got to ask you a real quick question because I put this guy off for a minute, Dankula. If you don't, I'm just going to mention the show, and if you know it, I'll ask you the question. Have you heard of a show called Millennial Woes?
I'm aware of Millennial Woes, yeah.
Okay, so the question is, for the count, if you're still taking questions, do you know or watch Millennial Woes? And if so, what are your opinions of him?
I don't know him personally. He used to live quite close to me. Like, we have spoken slightly before, and I did make a video defending him, not defending his opinions. It was the fact that he basically got ran out of his home, and he was contacted by people that were in the Scottish Socialist Party. They were the people that doxed him and leaked his information and actually turned up at his house. What a lot of people don't know is the Scottish Socialist Party are actually connected with Scottish Antifa, and Antifa are well known for being a lovely, lovely, charming bunch of people that like to, turn up to people's doors, and it's not for a lovely chat. Right, it's just
don't they deliver meals? I think they give free meals to people.
Yeah,
I don't think
They're very
following your
philanthropic.
sheep really counts as a meal. I mean,
the thing,
I'm lost.
They
But I want to laugh.
arrive waving Ken Dodd's tickle sticks.
yeah. So
I don't even know what that
that
means, but
They'll
it
goose
sounds
you.
good.
I got
the thing that's
last
actually
one.
very awkward. The very, very awkward thing is my cousin is actually in Scottish Antifa, so that makes for a lot of awkward family reunions.
All right, tell us now what Antifa is, because me and Day are sitting here going, what the fuck are they talking about? What's Antifa?
I know what Antifa is, but
Well,
I don't know what goose.
They're an anti-fascist movement who, back in the day, if there was ever like actual true Nazi groups, they have, I think their origins are in either Germany or France. If there was true, actual Nazi white supremacist groups that wanted to do demonstrations and spread their opinions, Antifa would turn up. At first it was to peacefully protest them, but then, you know, as Antifa went down the generations, they got more and more violent. There's even a huge wave in Sweden where Antifa groups, if they find out where a racist lives, they'll turn up and smash the windows, break into the house and beat up everyone inside. But the thing that was weird is the police didn't clamp down on that until the Swedish Antifa actually hit the wrong house. They bust into a guy's house and beat the living shit out of him, and because they thought he was a racist, but it turns out he was just a random guy. They got the wrong house, and it was only then that the police decided to intervene in Antifa. And you've seen all the videos, like the inauguration or just any kind of Trump rally or UC Berkeley or UC Davis, whenever Yiannopoulos tried to do a talk. Antifa just turned up and
it jarred my memory.
Yeah, but
I
you
don't
see
know
how
why I
we
didn't
handle
think of
them,
that.
right?
How did we handle them, Base Mama?
Oh, you smack them in the head with a stick.
a big stick,
I mean,
man.
that's nicer than what I would do. I would mow their asses down and they would just not be a problem anymore. But other people have more restraint than myself. I'm a McPherson. It's not my fault.
Well, but I think this is one of the problems with Antifa, and that is that they could in fact become the reason for the rise of violent fascism. But precisely because they are out in the streets, you know, smashing things up, and the police isn't really doing anything about it. All that it requires then is some organized troop in jackboots to turn up and to effectively advertise themselves as the you know, new enforcers of law and order by kicking the living snot out of the Antifas, and everybody would cheer them. And in that regard, they have now become the greatest danger for the rise of fascism by being completely out of control.
They're encouraging the restrictions of freedom of speech. One of the I remember a picture that came through the last Milo talk that got, I know it was a Trump rally actually, of an Antifa member actually burning a sign that he stole from a Trump supporter that said freedom of speech, and he was throwing it in the fire. And that's probably one of the most important images of 2017, by the way. Like, they want absolutely, it's weird. Like, the thing was, you got like Antifa and a lot of people from the far left. Whenever Milo's talks get shut down, or whenever, you know, YouTubers that have opinions they don't like get banned, they laugh and they relish in it, and then they go, freedom of speech, I don't care about your freedom of speech. But then as soon as Antifa and all the other guys found out that YouTube was restricting LGBT YouTubers, then they cared about freedom of speech, because they're like, oh no, those are our guys, they're on our side. It's like there's a lot of double standards. It's just a case
I mean, if you would have had the guy who was burning the sign, if he would have been stopped from burning the sign, he would have complained that it would be a restriction of his freedom of expression to burn a freedom of speech sign.
Man, this is so funny about anarchists. Anarchists, you know, they'll run around, and then when somebody comes back and punches them, then they start calling for the police.
I have to ask something real quick before we continue. Thank you for that, Cabbage. But hold on for just 1 second. If you're going to be here for the after party, in other words, in 30 minutes, I'm going to start by asking. I'm just going to ask it yes or no. There's no right or wrong answer. I just want to know so I can know who to give priority to right now. Are you going to be here for the after party, Base Mama?
Absolutely.
Her mic is okay. She is. Cabbage Patch, are you going to be here for the after party?
Oh, do you really have to ask?
Yeah, no, not really. I'm just going down the line. Day is dead. Will you be here for the after party?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. I know you haven't been feeling that great. Hard Bastard, are you going to be here for the after party?
No, I got to go in like 10 minutes, unfortunately.
Yeah, I knew you were busy. So, Britisher, are you going to be here for the after party?
Well, I'll try and hang on for a while, but I don't know. Okay, I don't know how long it will be.
What I want to do is, folks, you just heard it. I have two gentlemen, and I want to say this. I'm going to say it humbly. If it wasn't for these two gentlemen, I would probably have about 7 viewers right now a day, and maybe 5-10 subscribers. And they've really helped me a lot. So what I want to do is, because Hard Bastard has to go in about 10 minutes. Bastard, I just want everyone to just act like you're not even part of this right now. Let him have 10 minutes with Dank, as long as you're going to be here longer than 10, Britt. And if you got to go in about that time, I'll split it between the two.
No problem. No problem.
To answer that. Okay. So let's just have the Hard Bastard. Let's pretend that we're just over here in the chat. Go ahead, Bastard, Dankula, anything you want to say. Ask him anything you want.
I don't think I have like 10 minutes of comments, but
No. I'm just telling you what you do have. Just go ahead, sir.
I got you. I think that what you're going to probably start to see, because really so far, the right has kind of taken the behavior of Antifa pretty well, but at some point they're going to start shooting back. And as far as I think the one Milo rally on the West Coast, it might have been in Portland or Seattle, where a Milo supporter was attacked by Seattle, right? Yeah, he was attacked by an Antifa member, and he shot him, and they didn't arrest him because it was
self-defense.
Exactly, self-defense. And this is not what you want to see in your society, because I mean, we're going to get to a point where, I mean, once you start getting to that point, then I think like anarchy, or at least small pockets of riots where people are going to war with each other, that's like very close. I think there was, what was that, a week ago or about 10 days ago with Base Stick Man? I mean, that was another example of the right finally kind of fighting back against what Antifa's been doing.
Richard Spencer's now actually, remember when Richard Spencer got punched at the inauguration? He has actually now hired the personal security who are prepared to fight Antifa if they try and attack him again. And this was, do you remember, like, see during Hitler's actual campaign when he was trying to get elected as Chancellor of Germany, like, there was a Communist Party and there was the Nazi Party, and they used to beat the living shit out of each other in the streets. They used to like come to it with knuckle dusters and stuff like that to beat each other up, and that's what we're starting to see now. It's the fact that Antifa and the left are turning up and acting like total thugs. There was even a petition that went around to get them classed as a terrorist organisation. And now the right are like, even though the right have done quite well in trying to be the dignified ones, it's now got to a point where they're like, no, we now need to defend ourselves. And it's not going to be a case of a riot where it's just Antifa kicking off. You're going to see people from the right and Antifa clashing with weapons and everything, and a lot of people are going to get hurt. And that's the path that we're going down. That's where we're heading.
Yep, absolutely.
Sadly.
It's rather scary that you use that phrase, they will start shooting back, hard bastard.
Yep. Because
if you recall, the exact phrase that Hitler used to start the Second World War was "Ab heute wird zurückgeschossen," which basically meant from today onward we're shooting back.
Wow.
That was the very phrase with which he launched the invasion of Poland.
Jesus.
The brown shirts rise again.
I'm trying to give everybody one last chance, so I want to say it for anybody over here in the chat that doesn't listen. Remember that the bastard said he's going to be leaving in now about maybe 4.5, 5 minutes. So if you have any last questions for the bastard, either pertaining to Dankula for himself, as long as it's relatively appropriate, give them now. Go ahead, gentlemen. Oh, did that fuck y'all up? Yeah, go ahead.
No, did you say you were going to have the chat ask a question? Is that what you said?
Well, I'm waiting. I just gave them their last like 5-minute warning, you know, and so I was saying it again in case somebody was in the kitchen or something. Let them know that they have about 5 more minutes or so left to ask you something, either pertaining to this or something else, and then you're probably going to be gone. So I'm giving their last shot.
Yeah.
Just go ahead, gentlemen. Everything's good.
That's fine.
Well, Millennial asks, why do you think they have gone, you know, after Dankula? And he says make an example, but I can't even follow that up. So why do you think they've gone after Dankula there, bastard?
I don't know. I mean, I at least in with like the Wall Street Journal and Gizmodo and the outlets that go after people out here, I think they do it for career moves. Or I mean, the thing that's just thrown me off about Dankula's case is like, I understand why they would go after PewDiePie because he represents a threat to the old media. But I don't see why a media outlet would go after a regular citizen. That's just like extra. It's just so outrageous. It's really, it's stunning. I really don't understand unless they were probably, I guess, virtue signaling would be the answer. I mean, I guess
doubling down.
That is unreal. And I've got to give props to Dank. I don't know if you're going to stay for the after party. I didn't ask you, sir, because you can bug out whenever you want. You're the guest of honor. But I got to say this, bastard, because I know that you've got a lot of work. This guy, we were talking before, and I'll share after you're gone. I'll kiss your ass, boss. I won't do it while you're looking. But what I will say is we have this pretty good little comment here. I kind of want your opinion on, bastard. This is Xenomorph Fan. I do know that it's one of my subscribers. Good to see you, sir. Madam, whoever you may be. This is how the U.S. This is what they said, bastard. And it's not really a question, but please, you're such a deep thinker, even though some may not think it. I know you are. This is how the. Well, now you can laugh, I know, but you did get out of that cult, and a lot of people can't say that, brother. A lot of people perish in that
that's
cult.
true. Yeah, I did get out of cult. You're right.
I know.
But I got into it.
You got to
too,
have
though,
a brain.
So you can.
Yeah, you got into it, but you got out, and most people don't get out. It's worse than the mafia. So that said, look, pay attention now because this is serious, boss. This is how the U.S. ends under Trump, not because of something he did, but because of what the left turns into in times of distress.
Yeah, you know, I was doing I was having a conversation with a YouTuber, Aiden Paladin, and she was bringing up how she saw parallels between what went on in the 30s in Germany and what's happening now. That like the way that the left is, that they're going to, it's almost like they're inadvertently, at least potentially, and I hope not, bringing fascism in. And yeah, I really hope that's not the case. But I totally see where they're getting that.
Oh, that was wonderful. And listen, boss, nobody's going to keep you around here now. I'm going to kick off the British, or whenever you are ready to go, though, let me know. You know, I got a little small plug for you, and I do so appreciate you coming by. I have looked up to this gentleman before anybody knew who he was, but him and his mother. I started watching his channel when it was, and this goes for the British also, when it was burgeoning. And that no one knew who he was. And I could see that there was something. And I'll tell you what it is, boss, right now, before you leave, so you don't think it's kissing your ass. You do a tremendous amount of fucking research, man. You don't just sit down and like start spewing. It's obvious you've got 50 tabs lined up there in the top, and you're going from story to story, and you're connecting the dots. You remind me of the OC, the guy, and I can't remember. Look, I'll get off in the movies now, but you remind me of a character in a movie that was like he was crazy and he watched this girl running on a treadmill. But you connect those dots, and man, I sure do appreciate it. I appreciate
it's very
it.
kind.
Hard bastard, seriously, it's you don't provide diatribe.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I really appreciate the support. Thank you for having me on the live stream. And Dankula, I really wish you the best of luck and hope you get through this and they drop this bullshit.
Excellent. Thanks very much, dude.
Yeah, hallelujah.
Everybody else say goodnight to the hard bastard, and then I got to sign off for him, and we're going to kick it to the British.
All right. See you guys later.
See ya.
Bye, baby.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Now, listen, folks, everybody heard my personal opinion, and I could speak for the Cabbage Patch Bastard here. We heard his now. We know a tremendous amount of work goes into this man's, what he does. And I don't want to stumble here, but I'm going to be open and honest about something that a Jew usually never shares. I give him a little bit. I do. I give him a little bit now. Yeah, okay. Whoever's doing that, I think that's my ding. So that means I've got to stop now. But if you do appreciate his work, do one of two things. Don't stop the video in the middle, because if you let it play, if you're busy, I mean, and I understand if you got to go, but if you're going to go, put it on the Bastards channel, and like, or I'm going to name some others too before I get some more smooching sounds, but put it on his channel, let it play while you're gone, because when you let it play and he gets that watch time, he actually makes $1. So if you can't afford to just reach in your pocket and put it, well, I'm just saying, if you can't afford to reach in your wallet and put $1 in his pocket, you know, do it that way. Just watch this stuff and watch it to completion. Now all the smooching's done. So we're going to move on, and we're going to bear in mind there's going to be an after party. And I know that the Britisher and Cabbage Patch Bastard and everybody else, but especially the Britisher right now, he's probably got something on his mind to speak to his countrymen about. Lay it on us, gentlemen.
Well, there's pressure for me. I have absolutely no idea what to say at the moment. I've just been sort of, musing up all sorts of things from illegal jokes to 1984, I mean, because, having count
This is it. It's so ridiculous that the amount that we could compare, isn't it, Britisher? I mean, the amount of things that you and I remember going back to the 1970s.
It's just one of scale, because it's just so out of proportion. I mean, how many people do you know who are actually in fits of laughter when they are being walked out of the house in handcuffs because it is so outrageously stupid what they're being arrested for that they
And then you
cannot
get
actually take
convicted
it
for
seriously.
contempt of, and you get taken for contempt of the law. Well, when the law is being an arse, how can you hold it in anything other than contempt?
Very, very true.
I hold the law in contempt.
But yeah, I mean, it is really one of those things where I struggle to put into words just to what extent I cannot actually believe what is happening here.
Do you know, I actually
Seriously, it's a mind blower for me, mate.
I actually got everyone in prison actually laughed at me when they found out what I got arrested for.
Well, I'd laugh at you too.
Yeah, it was
shit
like,
Well, at least you know
harder.
you're not. Nobody's going to be asking you to pick up the soap. all
When
right?
you say
Well,
our
no.
prison, when you say prison though, do you mean like our jail, Dank, or did they stick you straight away into like a prison?
it's sort of like there's like two versions of prison. You get like a hold in prison where you're held for like a short term.
Remand.
Held for a
Jail
short
here.
stay, yeah. and
Well,
then-
okay, that's what I was wondering, base.
Yeah, but then if you get sentenced, you get sent to like an actual proper prison.
Yeah, base mama just cleared it up for me. She said it's
Yeah.
just what you call prison sometimes is our jail. In fact, the Britisher did that earlier. So I'm not going to be disrespectful to anybody. What I want to do is I want to give Britisher, obviously, after I know you and you don't like me doing my thing. But listen, I was a preacher for years. I'll say it again. And when I have friends and they work hard and they have a way to make money, it is impossible for me not to mention said way to make money. I'm fucking Jewish and I'm an old preacher. What do you want from me? Look, and so that said, no pressure on you, but I know Cabbage, you actually told me earlier that you had some things you wanted to ask. Ask Dankula anything you want. And let's all remember, me included, that Dankula is the guest of honor until he decides to leave.
Yeah. Well, Dank, really, actually, the only question I really had for you was, is there any way that we can actually help? I know that you did the video, telling people not to go and piss people off, which is a very, very sensible thing that you did there. No dogpiling. But is there actually anything that can be done? I mean, is there really anything where, any other third party can help out? Because, I mean, surely that there has to be something. Are there... I don't know. Is there something they can sign or, money? I mean, do you need legal assistance, whatever?
No, I do have a lawyer under legal aid. I've got a few people that have actually written to their local MP, and I've got a few emails from MPs that have said, this is ridiculous, you should not have been arrested. I think the biggest thing mainly is just like awareness over this case, but also like the safety of comedy itself. It's a case of
sanity.
It's not even a case of like what I said. It could be misconstrued as racism. I mean, it was clear from the get-go what I was doing. But it's a case of I was like just doing a prank on my girlfriend. I even said in the video why I was doing it. I said I wasn't racist, and that was the end of it. Like,
you just wonder if anyone has got Billy Connolly's phone number.
Well, he did start the video. He started the video by saying, I tried to think, this is the way it started. I've watched it 50 times. Me and my old lady sit here and roll and watch it. But he started by saying, I tried to think of a way to piss my old lady off. And I've watched his streams. Sometimes most of the time I don't say anything, Dan, because you're just playing video games and shooting the shit. But he says his old lady's like this little fiery doggone Scots woman. I mean, so he thought of the way he could piss her off the most, and without sucking up all the air in the room. I mean, holy shit. He not only accomplished that, but he got 2.3 million people to watch it. He entertained this Jew. I've talked to other Jews. Daniel, I want to know, you can hear me right now, Daniel. You just sent me an email. Yeah. He's a Jewish brother, just from another mother. What do you think about it? And if you haven't seen it, I'll send a link. So y'all carry on and listen, Britisher, as long as you're going to hang around, the ladies have been so patient and so cool. If either of you girls have something for Dank, and I just seen your mic go off, Day, go ahead.
We are subservient, internalized misogyny.
Well, we are. Yeah, are we mansplaining to you?
Yes, sir. I will talk now when spoken to. No.
Don't do that. It's so sexy. My leg just got broken, girl. I feel a rise in my knee line. Stop that.
No, I don't know. I don't have anything to say. I just heard you guys mention video games, and I'm like, oh, I just started The Witcher 3, and I'm like, so dying to go back into it.
Yeah, and this has been so heavy. Dank is actually like a gamer for a long time. So if y'all want to kick it to
Dude,
something else, you know,
Give me your Steam name.
I'll add you in Steam, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm dazed.
Well, actually, if you really want to make the two ladies happy, what you can do is record yourself quoting some Robbie Burns, and then put it on.
Yeah, that was.
They seem to be into poetry.
I was so into it. That was amazing. Oh, what did I wanted you to? I wanted you to do the caterpillars poem from Alice in Wonderland because your voice sounds like the caterpillar. Like,
I second. Brett, if you ever want to do anything like that because of your channel, if you do something like that for the girls and give it to me, I'll upload it on my channel. They can watch it there. Because look, he does have to think about other things, but that's not saying he won't
like it.
I think he'd actually be more likely to do the Cheshire Cat. I thought that'd be more appropriate.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to throw that in there and give him that option because
like I think Dankula should do the Cheshire Cat.
Yeah.
he is the Cheshire Cat. He is the Cheshire Cat. Dankula, man.
Exactly. Yeah, we will be Britisher and Dankula Poetry Productions.
Yes. I would be so happy. I would have like endless fat material.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was crude, but it's true.
No, that was perfect. I want you to know something too, Dank. There's a reason why I haven't done a video for you. Because you looked at me right in my eyes on your channel and you said, don't be a dick. I don't know. I can't do not a dick. I don't know how to do it. So you will notice.
I can definitely affirm to
that. But you will notice that without I'm not saying I prodded him, but I did bring his attention to you. And my good brother, who has a much larger platform than I do, the Britisher, he did a wonderful. And if you see, I would say you watch that video. I would say he wasn't being a dick. He was just showing you what it was.
No, I'm happy to get the word around if I can to like Sargon and Dave.
I already speak to. Well, occasionally I speak to Sargon. I've spoken to him a bit as well. I think he's probably going to do a video around about the time of the trial. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Man, I hope he does. Let's all that know him or can do it, put pressure on him in any way we can. That's polite.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to hear.
Mr. E, you know, I'll get everybody I can, and I'll troll and shitpost the fuck out of them.
I mean, you would expect the major online skeptics to really be interested in this subject.
Yeah.
Well, no, well, they're in their echo chamber. They'll never even know that this conversation has ever happened.
That is true. They're all kind of stuck up their own asses a little bit.
I want to say
a little bit.
Too.
Are you kidding me? They're eating their own teeth.
Well, I would like
Dankula, I'd like to hear you. I'd love to hear you with Millennium Woes. You know, a discussion with him. You know, sharing. You know, your experiences and how. You know how this shit affects people, because I don't think these social justice warriors go on about the fact that they're somehow trying to be so light of life and that they're all beautiful and fluffy and everything's all about unicorns. And what do? They fucking destroy people's lives. These are the most hideous people that you could find.
They're oppressed.
I think it's more of a.
They need to be oppressed.
The thing that makes me more scared of the far left is it's a case of see how the way, like, for example, the alt-right just have this movement where they do what any movement does. They put their information out there. Here's the information. Read it. Have a chat with us. If you want to join, you can join. Right. So the alt-right, even though I don't agree with obviously a lot of their ideology, they're going the right way about presenting their opinion. The reason that I have a big concern is the far left are going down the route of believe us or else. Like
which is fascism, which is national socialism.
That's fascism. Yeah.
You couldn't define it any clearer, could you? Really?
Yeah. It's just that it's the fact is as well as you see how the whole it's okay to punch a Nazi thing that was going around. Well, I get called a Nazi at least 10 times a day on Twitter, so does that mean if I leave the house, I run the risk of getting the shit kicked out of me?
Yeah, everybody's fair game. If they don't hold their opinion, you are a Nazi. All of a sudden, there's a big discrepancy there.
Yeah.
I've been called everything though. Weirdly enough, in one conversation when I was on, I don't know if you know Pal Talk. I was on Pal Talk, I was called a Nazi, a communist, an anarcho-communist, and a fascist simultaneously in one single conversation.
Yeah.
So go figure.
Natch.
You know, the difference was I wouldn't fucking stop talking, so they just had to keep throwing labels at me. So
And it was all true. It was all
like, so
true.
you know, shit, some of it'll stick. That's all they tried.
Well, one of the lovely things, I think, you know, what you just said there, Dankula, you know, believe us or else. The key there is actually not the or else, it's the believe us. Because it's effectively a faith, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this whole, like, see how the whole system that they're trying to build is, like, it's like, see how the whole, like, communism thing, and like, everybody knows this. When I was younger, I was a crazy communist. I was a member of the Communist Party and all that.
So you're a fascist communist. That's what you're trying to say.
Fascist Nazi.
Well, fascists and communism, they're socialists. So I mean, you know, it's a narrow window.
No, but it was like, see how the whole thing of communism, right? It's a case of communism can work if every single person under it agrees to follow it, right? So it's a case
Which will never happen.
Communism and even anarchism as well can only be run on every single person in the world having the best intentions. And if there's one thing in life that's certain, is no matter what, the world will always have a few cunts in it.
Only
words have never been spoken.
And they're the people who end up running things, and those are the kind of cunts that are fucking taking you to court, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So,
what I want to know is who elected him, who put him there. But I mean, I don't know if you can even answer that in this much time. But how in the hell did they get in a position where they did this to you, man? Who did it?
I've got an inkling as to who actually was that made the police complaint, and it wasn't anyone from the Jewish Council or anything like that.
Was it your neighbor?
No, I think it was actually the press, the papers themselves that did it.
Yeah.
And because one thing that was really, really weird.
Well, the same thing as Millennium, right?
Yeah, but it was the thing that was strange, right? Is there's been situations where I've been involved with the press before, but it was nothing to like do with me. Where I've had friends who were harassed by the press, and they usually sit outside the house, sitting in their car, waiting for the person to come out the house, and then they'll run out the car and run up and try and talk to them. So I was watching out for that. I told all my neighbours, watch out for anyone hanging out in the street, and don't let anyone in the building. Right, so like I told them what to do that. Everyone was watching. I was always checking all the cars, making sure there was no one around, and I never heard from the press for days and days and days. But then at the exact moment of my arrest, all the press were there. Yeah. And there's theories going around where I've spoken to a lot of lawyers, and they says that either the police just decided, either the police just decided to arrest me on their own, but the police told the press they were coming to arrest me. So
but the thing is, I don't get
take pictures. Like, look, we're doing our job. We're fighting the bad Nazis. Or the press went to the station, made the complaint themselves, followed the police from the station so that they could take pictures and get a story.
Yes, but this is also this is also a good question. And I think, you know, when you say we're fighting the bad Nazis, to your knowledge, does Scotland have a major Nazi problem?
There's only one actual true Nazi movement that I was aware of, and funny thing is, I know them. I know who they are.
But there is one there. You're saying there because I was laughing because
there is one. There's one, and he lives in a fucking hole somewhere.
And see, at a very generous. It's over now, by the way. It's over. Like that Nazi movement was back when I was about like 18, and at a very generous estimate, it had maybe about 30, just under 30 members.
So
and that's a very generous estimate.
A population of over 5 million. There were roughly 30 Nazis.
Yep.
And these are
just reminds
once upon a time Nazis. These are has-been Nazis.
So
yeah,
you were not one of them.
So this reminds me of you know the thing in The Life of Brian. You know, where there's a guy in the hole, and he's like, you know, he hasn't spoken for ages, and everyone turns up, and he goes, "You're the Messiah," and he's like, "I'm not the Messiah." And he's like, "You're a Nazi." I'm not a Nazi, but you know, that's the Jews. Is that like that? You know, they try and demand something out of it. No, it's fucking ridiculous.
But yes, I mean, you know, in that regard, you know, given these 30 ex-Nazis that we can roughly point to, whom are you actually supposed to be, you know, tempting to
Dogs.
join the Nazi banner?
The dogs.
Scotland.
Yes, exactly.
dogs.
He wants- he's trying to recruit Nazi dogs. You deviant
The thing that
bastard.
was
He's
curious
got
as
the
well, right?
Hitler of dogs.
I was sitting in the
All the
station.
Dobermans and the Rottweilers and things, they're all going to be on his side. We have to
Well,
fear him.
interestingly, a pug, I don't think is actually a German breed, is it?
No,
I don't think
no.
it is.
As a matter of fact, if you think about it, in Animal Farm, the dogs were the dog. He was actually one of the really good ones, man. He killed.
Well, actually, he
himself.
should worry then, because 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. So his
Yeah,
dog's
yeah,
going to
right.
fucking eat him.
Because I was saying there was the dog and the horse. They were like the two. But anyway, they were the two that touched me the most. But you know what? Look, I'm going to shut up again because this is going so good. But I will say this, boys. We have been running roughshod. Base Mama's got her mic turned off, and she likes to speak. So unless Britisher, I know you got to go soon. So let's keep Dank here, man. Y'all keep the good shit coming. But Base Mama or Day is Dead, because that last thing you just added, Dave, was like the best thing in the whole show. The dog.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
cite a quotation here from the great Jew and dictator himself, Charlie Chaplin. He said that laughter is the tonic, the relief, and the surcease for pain. If you can't laugh at your pain, then you're going to be pretty miserable. I mean, he also said if you really want to laugh, you have to take your pain and play with it. And that's essentially what was done here, is just to, like you said, it's a relief for that stored up pain and heartache. It's a joke, and it makes you laugh about something that is hurtful to you, but it helps you to release your frustration and anger in an amiable way, and to enjoy a moment of laughter at your own pain. Never take yourself that seriously.
Yeah, that's what gallows humor is.
Yeah.
And
Well,
enjoy your
I've
girlfriend.
and I've
Okay, I
said
think-
that before that we need stuff. We need comedy for what hurts. So go ahead, Dank.
The ability to joke about scary things makes them less scary. Like that's the whole point. It's like, see how like the whole Voldemort thing, he who shall not be named, or don't talk about that and everything. That makes things a lot more terrifying.
I know, that's Armored Skeptic.
Everybody hates Armored Skeptic these days.
I love him. I love the guy. I wanted to have him over to fuck my wife.
Yeah, well, you're just
He
sick.
might take you up on that.
Oh, he can have her. I've got 10 more.
Honestly,
Oh,
these Jews, they are so
yeah.
deviant. You see, it's no wonder he needs a Nazi dog. You fuckers are deviant.
Hey, God said that our seed would be like the sands of the seas and like the stars of the planet. That's why I get laid so much by so many different broads.
Think about it, right? In the last 3 sentences, we've committed more hate crimes, technically speaking, than he ever did with his fucking dog, right?
Thank you,
I mean,
sir.
that is how ridiculous it
That's
is.
the intent. As long as Dankula's not doing anything to incriminate himself, that's the intent.
Yeah.
It's because, look, I can't say it enough. When he did that, what Base Mama just said, I got glasses on because I like to be the big tough guy. But the fact of the matter is, sometimes when we talk about this stuff and when it's just a laughing thing, there may be a slight little twinkle in my eye, and I've got to remain the laughing ogre that says things like "you can come and fuck my wife" that are just ridiculous, and 10 girlfriends that are just made up. I'm just a made up figment of the imagination. But what isn't is there is someone right here with me that and Dankula, I know you're humble, and I know in your own way you're kind of shy. You seem like to me, but you're a star to me. I mean, you have done this thing. I mean, I've watched Alex Jones since 2006, man. Anyway, and you were on the Alex Jones channel. That's how I found out who the hell you were. I was like, wow, this guy's, and then I've seen it, and you actually spoke to me. But what I'll say is, even though I'm a joke and I am a made up construct, I've never had a beard in my life. This is so lads don't know who I am, Dank. And because I got my hat off tonight, I'm afraid they may, because around here, everybody knows who I am. But I don't listen. This is the point, and I'll shut up. Here, There, what they're doing is they're putting you, like, here, you get a DUI or something stupid, you got some weed in you. They take and they spread your butt apart and look up your butthole before they put you in the cell, and they dehumanize you. They take away your clothes and give you because this is no joke. I go everywhere in a suit. I have been for years. I feel naked. I mean, if I'm in my undershorts, I feel a little naked. You look great in them, Dank, but me, I feel naked.
TMI, mate. TMI.
And to each their own, also, I would say. So look, I'm rambling.
So everyone their butthole.
I'm rambling, but what I'm trying to say is,
look up your butt.
Yeah, I shouldn't have made that comment. I knew that was a mistake.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, here, what's happening is they'll break your rice bowl. Do you know what I mean by that, Dank?
Yeah, Japanese.
They did both to you. They took your freedom. They charge you, and then you said, "I've watched your stuff, bro, so it's out public. I'm not trying to like give you any zinger or break any sad news that you don't already know. They've broken your rice bowl. You said you had a job. That bloke fired you. You try to get it. Oh, you're Count Dank. You can't work it now. Now finally, thank the saints, above that they actually someone condescended to give this evil, horrible person that made this Jew roll on the floor. Literally, everybody says that. I'm on the floor laughing, and so that's the thing. Why is it now, Britisher, that they're not happy having you fired, or excuse me, having you arrested and everything else, but over here they want to break your rice bowl? Why? What is it? Why can't people just be people?
Because they're sick.
I put him on the spot, but I want to help you, Brett. I really do. I want you to give maybe a Dankula a little wisdom, a little something. You always give it to me. Why do they want to break his rice bowl? Why is it so important to do that?
I would love to have an answer for this, because this is sort of one of the areas where I almost feel autistic, because it is an area. It is an area of the human experience that I am completely incapable of understanding.
As am I. It's like divide by zero. It's nonsense. It's insanity. They've gone beyond the pale. They've gone way beyond any form of sanity.
This, the motivation of people to try to somehow dominate another person in this way. I don't understand. I do not understand the concept of censorship. I cannot understand the concept of, well, yes, I mean, I've seen a dog on YouTube, and now something must be done. It just...
How many cats have you seen playing the piano?
I'm gonna break the timer back out, Cabbage. Hang on, because I want Dankula to respond to that. I love you, Cabbage. We're almost to the after show, and then we're gonna go for like 10 more minutes, and we're in the after show, and we can dogpile and do whatever we want. We can fart, we can make funny, stupid jokes.
I thought we were already in the after show.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
we're close. We're close.
Yeah, you see that we were sold a
We're very close. Now, chill for a second. We're very close. But what the British are saying, I just want to expound on what I think he's saying. Dankula, do you feel like they're trying to break you over this?
I think it's the whole, I think it's a case of, in Britain, if you have a criminal record that has some sketchy things on it, it is a case of you're not going to get a job. That's why we've got a really, really high rate of reoffenders, because prisoners get out of prison, they've got a criminal record, they can't get a job anywhere, they go straight back into crime.
Very true.
They literally have no other option whatsoever. A lot of the people, because I work in security, a lot of the people I work with are either ex-army or ex-cons. So like a lot of them I've been working with, and then the guy didn't turn up for his shift that week, and I'm like, oh, what happened? And they're like, oh, he got caught illegally working without a license, and also he committed a crime, and he's straight back in prison and stuff like that. So it's like, even like, for example, because of the insane PC culture in Britain, I'm really lucky that I found an employer that doesn't care about the hate crime charge, because they've looked at it themselves and they've went, this charge is bullshit. This is a bullshit charge. So I got lucky. But there's other people as well who've been charged with like serious things who just can't ever get a job.
Yeah, I just don't agree with it. Just even the concept of hate crime is just it's thought crime. I mean, what they're saying to you, basically. I mean, it's only one step towards thought crime, isn't it? I mean,
hate crime itself, it causes segregation, because when you create hate crime laws, obviously to protect minorities and stuff like that, that isn't an equal. That hate crime laws, by definition, aren't an equal law. There will always be a minority that's favoured over it. Because, for example, if you get people you've seen all the people that tweet out stuff like "fuck white people," and stuff like that, like obviously nothing happens to them. But see if a white person tweeted out "fuck black people," then the cops are going to knock at their door. If someone in this country did that, then the cops will arrest them. But all that's going to do is make people from the white community resent minorities, because they're going to feel like they're getting preferential treatment.
Very true.
They're not being treated equally. So it encourages segregation. You know, as soon as you give one group of people something that you can't have yourself, then obviously that's going to cause more and more resentment between them. Also, like the hate crime itself just encourages hatred of different minorities and different races.
It's perpetuating it.
I mean, in that case, it's perhaps worth asking, you know, do you think you would be accused, you know, do you think you would have been accused, that you would have been charged, that you would have been, you know, arrested and the whole thing if you were Jewish?
No, I wouldn't have been. Not at all.
So
What if you were
speaking,
black?
this is
Absolutely
therefore,
not. Then it would have been ironic.
this is
Well, he did
therefore a
satire,
matter of your
you see.
identity, isn't it?
He did
If you had the
satire.
wrong identity. Had you been another identity, this would not be a crime. So this is a
No, I
crime
wouldn't have been arrested.
according effectively to what identity you are. You happen to be the wrong identity, and thus it's a crime.
That's exactly it. If I was Jewish, I wouldn't have been arrested.
So
Man,
ultimately,
that
it's a hate crime against you. Because
God, can you imagine what would happen? Well, yeah, but you should have done it and said that you were a Muslim. Then you'd have got away with it, no problem. That would have been
And-
fine.
Everybody humors me. Everybody humors me. I will say now we have gone 7 minutes past the official time, but Dank got here a little late. I don't know how long he's going to be able to stay. Dankula, you're welcome to stay until this closes, and this will close down in about another hour and a half, 2 hours. That said, Brett, thank you so much for coming. If you've got to wrap it up at any time now, I'm taking all the brekes off. So me and
No
Bastard
problem.
will be
I'll
jumping
hang around
in.
for a bit, and, but at some point I'll have to leave. But for now,
Yeah,
I'm
but wait,
fine.
before you do, all I'm asking is before you do, just ring a bell, yell out, whatever, so I can
Yeah,
give you your
no
little
problem.
plug before you
Give
go,
us
brother.
a
Thank you
bell.
so much.
You know,
Now
at the
it's
moment,
on. It
At the
is
moment,
totally
I'm just
on.
sitting here enjoying the mental image of, you know, what Dankula said before when he was in prison, and he said everybody was laughing at him for what he was in there. Because I'm thinking of, you know, you will be familiar with the sitcom Porridge.
Yes.
I'm thinking of you, of sitting there on the table with all the other cons, and word is going around, you know, who's done what, and oh well, I'm here for, you know, I'm here for rape. Oh, you know, I just killed a guy. Oh, you know, and it just goes around the table, and then
I'm here because I taught my dog.
All eyes and end up on you, and you're there sort of with a little mealy mouth, little voice going, I taught a dog to do a Nazi salute.
Yeah.
You know,
that was the thing, is like, see, even when I got brought into prison, right, I'm not going to say names or the genders of the prison guards, because I don't want them to get into trouble, right? But see, when I got brought into the jail handcuffed, the guards seen me and recognized me, and they all went, "Ha ha, Zeke!" Like that.
Oh my
That was the prison guards. That was the prison guards, and they went.
Even they know how ridiculous it is.
You know, Dan, this is the thing I've got to say to you, that you have been so magnanimous throughout this whole thing. You know, you've actually risen above it. You haven't, you know, taken exception. You haven't been, you know, like bitching about it. You just sort of like, you stayed your line and just said, this is fucking ridiculous, which it is.
Perfect word, magnanimous. The perfect way to describe this gentleman. I mean, you were a giant among men, sir.
being fairly philosophical about this would also fit the bill.
Yeah.
I think he's behaving like a rational person. Like, what the fuck is going on, and what else can you do besides go through the process
Dare I interject? He is British.
Yes,
yes, it's true. Well, you see, pragmatic.
Stiff upper lip.
Right.
Depends how the next referendum goes, whether or not I'll remain.
Hey, Day, I gotta mention, I love your shirt, and I will pay you $300 to design me a Laughing Ogre shirt. I'll pay it cash as soon as you submit the design.
Well, don't even do that. If you put it on Teespring or TeePublic or whatever, just give me half of the proceeds. That's what I did with Chris Reagan.
But see, I'm a Jew. I want to pay you up front, so we can talk about a number later. But I just
heard a very famous name, Chris.
Hang on, let her say how much she may have made for that shirt.
I
Yeah.
made like $1,600 from this shirt. For Chris
Stand up
Ray
again. I want to present to everybody. If you will do that one more time, Sweetness, please. Sweet, turn around in a circle.
Bleach,
Oh, you got it. You got it.
2016.
She is so. Isn't
Drink
she
bleach.
lovely? Isn't
Oh, my
she
armband fell off.
beautiful? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the
I was singing.
curvature is somewhat distracting from the actual design on the.
Good
on the
Lord,
t-shirt.
is it ever? Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Well,
So, okay.
I made $1,600 from that shirt.
Okay. Well, then I'll tell you what. We'll talk about a percentage, but I want you to design me something cool that will be like you did it. So I don't want to give you any ideas. I wanted to kind of have
I didn't
laughing over
design it. My
theme.
boyfriend actually designed it, so he technically.
I don't
did
care
the
who
work
designed it.
Oh, you
together.
see, the man's
I don't
doing
care.
the work.
You know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
only thing I want is
yeah, right. So you're a
But-
liberated
Listen,
woman.
I was the
What
one
I
who
want the
reached out
most
to
is
Chris
for-
Ray
I
Gun,
want-
so
I
it would
want-
have never have
who-
happened.
You're stealing
right,
his
and you would never
resources.
met me if it wasn't for you either. So what I'll say,
I'm
and then
the
Base Mama's got to
manager,
talk because
dude.
everybody's got to.
I'm the CEO.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pussy whipped. Pussy whipped.
No.
Yeah, you think so, motherfucker? I got more
So
pussy than you
weird
ever
hearing it
seen,
come out
man.
of
I ain't
Cabbage
whooped by.
Patch Kid.
I'm not saying you. I was saying her boyfriend who was designing her shirts for her.
Dude,
She
we've
thinks
been
she's
living
managing
together.
him. Go,
No.
keep
I
up.
can't speak. I can't speak for him. You're right. I was
Okay, I'm
behind
just
her.
gonna explain the situation right quick, just to clear things up. Reed's a graphic designer by trade. That's his job. I'm disabled. I don't work. He designed a Bleach 2016 shirt inspired
Yeah,
by
head out,
Chris
head out,
Ray
Hank.
Gun's Drink Bleach thing. And then I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I should tell Chris Ray Gun about this. And so I did. And then he put it up on his Teespring. And he's popular, so I made bank. And but yeah, it was me who like reached out. I'm not as
I'm no
active
Chris
on
Raygrun, but I plan to be around for a while. So if you want to do a percentage split, I'll do it. But you see the Britishers logo. I mean, he might do. I don't know, but I know that you and your man are very
Uh-huh.
good. And like I said, I surround myself. Look, I got you here, girl, and you're way better than me. I mean, if you
I
think
just
people are
pimp out
coming to
his
see
talent,
my
but I
hairy
get
chest,
talent
you're
of a
crazy.
different sort.
They're here to see you. They're here to see Based Mama. They're here to he listen to Cabbage Patch. So I need to shut up for about 10 minutes, let y'all talk.
You get your
you-
BTS out, Ogre.
I think
but
it was an
Di,
entirely
did you-
political
did you-
statement anyway.
Part-
I mentioned
what was that day?
curvature
I
and-
missed what she said though. I missed what Day said,
Sorry?
Britisher, and then
Don't worry
oh,
about
she
it.
said nothing. She was probably busting my balls. So go ahead.
Di, did
No, I
you
thought it was an
share your
entirely
profits?
political statement anyway. You know, I mentioned curvature, and within 30 seconds, she was bringing up her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh
exactly.
no, it was
Very
about
protective.
That. It was about the shirt.
Defensive.
I have a boyfriend, so like he's my proper. He's like my owner, rather.
Yeah.
Pretty
My
Oh,
much.
master.
bullshit. It's like
The
that.
master.
I know.
Your
Does he
Lord
do
and
poetry
master.
for you?
That's my excuse.
Does he do poetry for you?
Blade
young lady?
is-
Boys only leave me
Matter of
alone if
second.
you have a boyfriend.
Hey, I just heard MCJK, and for those of you that don't know, he has a new symbol there, and he's not going by that moniker anymore. So I'm going to reintroduce him. We have
Yeah,
the
good one,
honor
like that.
of having MC. Yeah, he did that to fool you there, Cabbage Patch. I was waiting for him to say something because I
No,
see that
it's-
you didn't even notice he was there. But these
No,
blokes
I knew
right
he
here,
was there.
MC
I just
Cabbage,
figured he was just being a pussy.
Oh, I'm
they're
being a
good
pussy.
friends, but I'm
Okay.
not going to reiterate. That's why I mentioned it. These blokes go at it once in a while. I hope to have them back in about another month, and they're going to do another debate. But they had a wonderful debate on my channel yesterday, so I'm going to shut up 10 minutes, y'all. I'm going to be gone. But sitting here.
Oh, look, the man
Carry
is
on.
back.
Carry on, MC.
Dankula is back. The man returns.
Yeah,
But
I'm
Di,
back.
now I was going to ask you something. I can't remember now. Anyway,
So-
it's
so the
irrelevant.
Must have
Do
been a
I bet
lie.
he was more than Dankula was more than likely gone. You know, doing a recording of himself saying "exterminate, exterminate."
Yeah, you had to go and get inside a Dalek.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no.
Were you just
Yeah,
trying
I'm
to make
serious,
a,
man, but that's the point of, like how ridiculous this whole thing is. I cannot believe in England, I mean, with the comedy that we have, the history that we have, the sense of irony and satire and everything else, that somehow just what you did in any way, shape or form, that somebody could take offense. And I'd really like to know, how was it that where did this sort of like accumulation of negativity come from? I mean, presumably you got like flamed or something on Twitter, I mean, it must have come from like some social justice group or something. I mean, it's got to go back to a source.
The vast majority of it was all the media. It was all the newspapers. I've only ever met 2 people, like, in real life that didn't like the video. One
I thought it was hilarious.
No, one was a guy at a nightclub who took offence to the video. Funnily enough, it was while I was throwing him out. And that he says, "Oh, well, you're a racist." No, that's cool. You're still getting thrown out.
Yeah, and he was pissed. No, he was pissed drunk too, probably.
Yeah, he was.
Do you think it could have been somebody who?
Good Scotch.
Do you think it could have been somebody who wanted you out of the way in your job and your position?
This is what I mean. I can't understand
that's
how
a good
anyone would
question, though.
even
That's a
make a
good
point of
question.
it. You see, you got to question who put it into the hands of the media. I can't believe it was just some average journalist who just pulled it out.
Yeah, but do you think the guy that called you a racist like that? Do you think that maybe he was a drunken plant to try to get you out of your job? That was a solid. I want to know that.
No, I was fine. I was fine being a bouncer for ages. Like my boss when I was a bouncer knew about it, but I couldn't put it away. I was getting recognised all the time, and because I got recognised, like no one was taking me seriously and stuff.
All
like
right,
that.
and you did answer that, so I'm sorry, Cabbage, or whoever wants to go. I think Cabbage was talking. I cut him
What
off.
was the angle that the press actually took when you sort of said the press gave you a hard time? What was actually their angle?
What they did was they took, like, now here's the thing that's interesting. My Facebook has been private for like the last 4 years. It always has been due to a absolute lunatic of an ex-girlfriend. But somehow the press but somehow like the press got access to Facebook posts that I made like before I got arrested. Like I made the video to piss off my girlfriend, right? I showed her it. She got fucking, oh holy shit, she got so fucking angry, right? But like what happened was, when I was going to FanFest, which is like a gaming convention in Iceland, I posted a Facebook status that says released the Nazi pug video and then fled the country. I was talking about fleeing from Sue, my girlfriend, because she was so fucking angry. The press ran with that as if I actually launched the video and fled the country, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I fucking said.
My God, they're so ridiculous.
You were sort of a Dr. No character who was sitting in a hollowed out Icelandic volcano, releasing the video.
Yeah, that's
way to go, Brett. I don't know if you noticed they're asking for more Dr. No references in the thing, so you Bretts lay it on us. That was great.
No, there was the other one, the other Facebook post that they went with, right? I was still in Iceland, and the papers were writing tons of bullshit about me back home, right? And they were saying that the video caused like worldwide outrage. But as I was walking through Reykjavik in Iceland, people were coming up to shake my hand and take pictures with me and stuff like that, and I was just like, all right, cool. And just like, so I posted like a sort of a bitchy Facebook post at the papers going, keep getting people wanting to talk to me and take pictures with me. Strange, since the video apparently offended everyone on the planet, according to the papers.
It didn't. I can assure you.
I
must be the exception then.
Yeah. The thing is, I just had a bitchy little dig at the papers, and then the papers wrote an article saying, Nazi Pugman now claims he is a celebrity as people want to take pictures with him. I'm like, that's not what I fucking said. You know what I meant by that.
Is that what you now officially are? You are Nazi Pugman.
Nazi Pugman.
Yeah, you're going to say that. You're going to have that on your headstone.
Yeah.
So there will one day be a computer game. There will one day be a computer game. It will be the follow-up to Pac-Man, and it will be Pugman.
Oh my God! Now you should get onto Sargon with that idea. That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, can you get some great little dots and go on through Europe, chewing up little cities and such?
Yeah, just we just create different maps. So you could do. I mean, my God!
And instead of little ghosts chasing you, it will be little pugs floating through the labyrinth.
Actually, no, you'd be the pug. You'd be the pug, and you'd have to chase everybody else and eat them, wouldn't you?
So it would be sort of floating swastikas trying to catch you. Floating swastikas trying to catch the pug.
God, that would make a funny game. I mean, just for the shits and giggles. It's not even difficult to do, is it? I mean, realistically, that could be done with
their way towards myself and Cabbage as we speak, The hit squad is more than likely sort of charging through the streets as we can see.
You know what? Well, when you, I know this is ridiculous, but you know, it would be so funny if you turned up with, you know, a Nazi armband on your arm when you go into court. That would be so fucking funny, man.
My friends keep joking, saying that when I fall asleep, they're going to shave my head.
Shave your head and get a swastika on your arm. That would be spectacular. In actual fact, going in full, you know, Nazi regalia. That would just make. I mean, if you're going to show contempt for the court, why not?
To do it, right?
Yeah, that's getting to be a sausage fest.
Look, if you're going to be hung for a sheep as well as a lamb, you know what I mean?
Well, I said it was okay for Prince Harry to dress as a Nazi. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna mute you.
Let Base say something.
I said if it was okay for Prince Harry to dress as a fucking Nazi and tell everybody to go get fucked for it, I don't think there's any reason to not have a Nazi pug, so everybody can laugh at it.
That's actually a good point. You could go in a Nazi uniform and claim you were dressed as Prince Harry.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
You could.
Yes, beautiful.
Good point.
Just be like, I'm a royalist, man.
I still want to hear more from the girls because we've been bulldogging these girls, and MC too. We've been kind of bulldogging them. And the British, I don't know. We've been bulldogging
and dealing in the chat.
Yeah, I see you over there, girl. You've been hammered, but Base Mama, you've got to have something else to add, man. You've been over there like bottled up.
This shit is it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's the most retarded stuff I've ever heard. To be honest, the fact that they're even entertaining this, it just makes a mockery of Scotland and their justice system. Like, why would you even take this anywhere? It's like, I don't know, like if you did shit here like that and somebody called the cops or whatever and they were like, she taught her dog to Zeke Heil, they'd be like, I don't give a fuck. Why are you calling me with this shit? It's not a crime. I don't care. They wouldn't care. They'd probably tell you to stop calling the fucking cops.
They would actually consider arresting the person who was wasting police time.
Yes, exactly. You get charged for wasting police time over here.
Well, you get charged for filing false reports and all kinds of shit. So it's like, you better know that there's a crime being done before you call the cops.
Base, I hate to break in, but you said, oh, go ahead, Dave, whatever.
I was gonna say, so hey, Britisher, does this like kind of go back to the incitement of hate thing you were talking about last week or the other week?
It very much seems to sort of blend in with this incitement to hatred, and you know, basically, though, you know, you've got hate crime, hate speech. It sort of all seems to sort of blend together into sort of one horrible melange. Which seems to have been, you know, the ship seems to have been launched by one Anthony Blair shortly after he came to power.
Have you ever seen go on.
Now there's another name that shouldn't be mentioned.
Scotland seems to have embraced it with absolute vigor, and seems to have kind of, you know, taken it perhaps one or two steps further.
Remember, Blair was Scottish. He went to Fetties.
Crack on, Dag, when he's
sure
done.
that you could be got for this in England. So I think this might be because the Scottish law has gone a step further that this would even be contemplated. I could be wrong. I'm not a lawyer.
See, if you actually look at the actual British definition of hate crime as it's laid out in the law, the reason that they say that hate crime is treated quite serious is because they say it's an attack on. It's a personal attack on that person, and it is about who they are as an individual. It's basically like a personal tail attack to their identity, right? Who they are as an individual. But then again, how is that different from calling someone a fat cunt?
No, it's not.
Actually, the opposite of that. It's not attacking someone on being an individual. It's attacking someone on being a part of a group.
Yeah, sure. The individual in this case is the dog.
Yeah, well, here's the question, you see. It's like, you know, I mean, if you look at it this way, right? I mean, if you, you know, women can't attack men physically, so they attack them emotionally or psychologically, right? So now we're looking at psychological warfare, right? That's really what we're talking about. This is the level that we've got to now. This is really the, you know, the idea that you're not allowed to have ideas. This is really where we get to the point of thought crime.
Yeah, the discussion's dying. I mean, look at what's happened. Like, to Jordan B. Peterson or UC Berkeley or UC Davis, as soon as anyone tries to come to a university, a place that's supposed to be the bastion.
Well, Glasgow. Wasn't that one at Glasgow?
Yeah, because I kind of want to hear about your country too, mate. We all know about our country. What's going on there at the university?
Glasgow University, which is a very, very interesting place, because you know how you get different states that have accents and different, countries that have accents. Glasgow Uni is a building with its own accent, and it's a very, very pretentious accent, funnily enough.
I've seen your video. Can you give us an example? Because I've seen your video. Will you just do a little bit of it for us?
Believe it or not, this is a university located in Scotland, but for some reason they all talk like this, and nobody has any idea why. But for some reason they just like to
it's like the Australian thing where they put the inflection at the end.
Do they have like a carbon monoxide leak there or what?
Sounds like a Valley Girl. Like
I didn't want to walk on it either, you fuckers, man. But you got the point anyway. So carry on. But that was, I mean, if you just go watch his video. I didn't want y'all to walk on it, but I did. I just walked on y'all. So he does the thing, and Dankula, I put you on the spot. But go watch his video where he like tells you where these Glasgowans. What'd you say it, Britt? How do you say it? Glaswegians. Yeah. It's like they're they're mincing, mealy-mouthed faggots, and I don't know how better to say it. If you don't like faggot, then fuck you. They're a bunch of mealy-mouthed faggot pussies.
Well, I can assure you, if you go on to...
It's quite difficult to make the Glaswegian accent in any way sound like a mincing.
Do it, Brett. Can you do it? Can you do the accent? Cabbage, can anybody do it?
No, you got to be a Glaswegianer.
Yeah, no.
But at the end of the day,
Dag does it real close.
But no, the thing is, like, it's Glasgow University is what has that posh accent. My accent's usually a lot.
He's Glaswegian. That's proper Glaswegian.
It's not really. I change. The thing is, like Scottish, the way we talk, it's like 90% slang. It is like 90% slang. So see, whenever I do videos or whenever I stream, I need to sort of like change the way I speak so that people can actually understand
does that
me.
too.
So many
it cracks me up because when he gets pissed, I can totally understand everything he's saying, and everybody else is like, "What the fuck are you saying? I don't understand you."
It's like when I read Clockwork Orange. Reading that, I'm like, "What the fuck is this book?"
The movie is not as bad as the book, I gotta say.
No,
and I just gotta say, look, Mama, keep shit close. These boys, don't let these boys bulldog either one of you girls. I'm gonna shut up. I said it before. 10 minutes. I'm gonna be here, y'all, but I'm gonna listen. Let the girls speak a wee bit. And Dankula, you take over too, because y'all are so interesting to me that if I keep putting in my 2 cents, I'll fuck up the conversation.
Seriously, I really want to hear about the process that brought Dank to the situation that he's in, and because it is about this is about Dank.
And I must say that that Falcon Millennial has joined us, the man that takes over when my daughter comes in, the one gentleman that I know that knows how to build a plane, fly it, and do a lot of other cool shit. Now I'll just put
he's a good scuba
to see you,
diver.
Falcon. Good to see you. That's great. So hey, listen, I just want to say that since you're on here, Falcon, and you're just starting, you're a burgeoning YouTuber, do you have any questions for this man that you can see on screen? And because I just gave you a back door, you're talking to a guy that's got 2.3 million fucking views, dude. I mean, you know it as well as I do. He probably don't like me saying this, but he's a star, man. He's a star. He's been on Alex Jones. So if you got anything to ask, Falcon, you just got here. Take it away, and then boys, let the girls speak. If y'all cut Base Mom and Day off, I'll start getting pissed and kick you faggots out of here.
We weren't talking.
These ladies,
I can talk whenever I want.
There you go. These ladies don't need a fucking
bitch.
Look,
let me white knight when I feel like it, or get the fuck out. You
bitch.
too.
No, you're a white knight bitch.
Can I just say something?
I will fucking cut you, Cabbage.
Let's
I will
fight.
get my passport back from the State Department, and I will.
Oh no, I just kicked him out. Nobody calls me a bitch on my own channel. He's gone. If you ever expect me back on here, I'll let you back on because everybody else is probably upset with me. But if you call me a bitch,
if you eject him, he can't come back, right?
Where I'm from, if you call me a child molester or a bitch, I'll knock you out. And if you don't think so,
hey,
come meet the ogre. Come meet the ogre. Come meet the ogre.
Hey, ogre.
So look, that's all I'm saying. I will let him back in because listen to me. I'll let him back in because everybody wants me to, and I know it. But if you call me a bitch or a child molester, or if you step on these girls and call me a white knight. I'm just saying, I've been at Mama's channel and she has stuck up for me. When I was talking too much, she stuck up for other people. And now it's the after party. I'm so happy to have Dankula. Now goodbye. I'm gonna send him. He knows how to get back here anyway. So he'll be back in, believe me.
It's chill.
Can I just, yeah, okay. While everyone is chill, can I just say something? Because everyone seemed to be fascinated with the Glaswegian accent.
Yes.
And I just thought for anybody interested in the ultimate experience in the Glaswegian accent, Google Rab C. Nesbitt.
How do you spell that?
Okay, love Rab C.
Rab C.
Rab C. Nesbitt. So R-A-B, then just C, that's just the middle, that's just the middle name, the middle initial, and then Nesbitt, N-E-S-B-I-T-T. Rab C. Nesbitt.
I did not know who he is.
Character
I do not
played
know
by
who this is.
Gregor Fisher. And it's quite unbelievable. And yes, if you can follow even half of what the man is saying when he goes on one of his rants, you are doing very well.
I'm going to test it right now. I'll be right back.
Can you screen share with sound? And look, I sent the link to Cabbage. I just got my limits. And as the guest of honor, if somebody steps on Dankula too much, and if y'all want to call me a white knight or whatever, just remember I'm the host. So I also have to remember not.
You might not be able to get in if you eject him, babe.
Since you ejected him, he can't come back in unless you take down this hangout and start a new one.
You're shitting me.
Yeah, the same thing happened with me, man. Remember?
Well, yeah, but you didn't tell me that, or I wouldn't have ejected him. It was just a fucking dumb joke that just went awry. I'm not going to stop the hangout, so all I can say is don't call me a bitch or you get kicked the fuck out.
Next time, just mute someone. Just mute them.
No, next time somebody calls me a bitch, they get kicked the fuck out. If you call me a bitch or a child molester, you will get kicked the fuck out of my channel. You can say anything else. Say anything else that you want. But if you call me a bitch.
Free speech.
If you call me a bitch, it is free speech, but this is my channel. If you call me a bitch, I won't say it again after this, or a child molester. Or if you arrest Count Dankula, and I know it.
To do a Nazi salute.
Don't have me do it because because
look,
I'm
I'll
so
just
contrarian.
leave. I'll kick myself out. If y'all think that was horrible, I'll kick myself out. But I don't have a lot of rules. I've been in. Listen, Brett, I've been in jail, son. And when you're in jail, bitch means you take it up the ass. Simple as that. So when someone calls me a bitch, they got two choices: put up or shut up. And he couldn't put up right now, so I shut him the fuck up. And if you know, hey, the way I look at this is for my amusement. Right. So if everybody don't like it, I'll shut it down right now. Take every video I got down and just go on with my wonderful life. I make a shitload of money. I need this like I need a fucking hemorrhoid. I just do this for my fun. So I got two rules. If it's censorship, suck my Jew cock. Take that for censorship. Call me a bitch or call me a child molester, and you have to put up or shut up. Now that's the last time I'll say it. Enjoy, everybody.
Okay. So
okay, so moving on.
Yes, precisely. Everyone's rather fallen silent now, haven't they?
Don't be silent or scared. And if I'd have known that was going to make it where he couldn't get back in, as serious as I sounded, I just don't like those things. Those are serious things. Let me, Dankula, to move it on. What is it where you're at with lads? You're sitting there with Gary Memes. You're sitting around the fire. And what can Gary Memes say that will really make you punch him in the face? Because there's something. With your Nazi dog salute, there's something, lad, and you know it. What is it that someone could say to you that would be like, you just crossed the line. I'm warning you now. If you do it again, I'm going to knock you out.
It's mostly like, see how, like, if you're hanging out with your friends and stuff like that, you can say stuff like that to them, and like it's usually taken a joking manner. But see if anyone sort of questions like how much of a man you are, that usually initiates a fight. Yeah.
And that is what calling somebody a bitch is in my circle. That is questioning. That is calling them somebody that takes it. And I said it as clearly as I can. When you call somebody a bitch where I'm from, that means you suck somebody's dick and you take it up the ass like a girl. That's what it means. And I don't do that. So that's simple as that.
Or perhaps.
And yeah, we're moving on. But now you, Brett, you tell me, what is it? Because you, as conservative as you are, now that we're talking about censorship, what can somebody say to you that will be your final straw? And it's now you've got the Brit.
Frankly, I can't really think of anything right now.
Bullshit. Give it to me.
But
tell me what it is.
What I would suggest with Dankula that perhaps might also be one of those things that crosses the line is if someone were to, for example, present him with an England football T-shirt.
Hey, listen, I gotta say something too. If I cancel this and start it right back up again, he could come back in.
Yes.
Is everybody willing to come back in if I do that? Because I feel like shit now. I really do.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
send the links.
All right, listen, Dankula, if you come back on, you're welcome. If you're late, I know you got a job. You're not, but I kind of, he's really a good mate of mine, and it was only like supposed to be like this is an act, man. It's only an act, and I don't like being called a bitch, but I didn't know I was kicking him out for fucking good. So I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill it right now. If you come back on, Dank, you're welcome. If not, man, I just want to show him because I love Cabbage. I don't want him to like not come back.
The problem we've got is that we would all need links, but also the audience would all need a new link.
Well, I'll send it out. I'll send it out. I don't even know.
I think we should actually just keep going with this.
Okay, all right. Fuck, bastard. I know you're probably listening, man. I'm gonna say this to you really humbly.
Otherwise, we might just lose, you know,
everybody.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna say this very humbly, and then I'm gonna shut up and let y'all continue like I should have. I have two simple rules. Don't call me a child molester, and don't call me a bitch. You can call my mother a cocksucker. You can do whatever, but if you're here with me live and I can see you, Dankula said it best. When you call me a bitch, I'm not going to reiterate it again because I don't want to think about it. When you call me a bitch, you're saying you're going to bend me over and fuck me. And if you're ready to do that, bring it on. You better have me beat to death, beat to sleep. Otherwise, I'll bite it off, or I'll clench my ass so tight it'll squeeze it off. So that said, like we ever else, we're going to deviate. But yeah, go on, man. I feel bad. I'm going to shut up. 10 minutes. I'm gone. I would just
like to, because the England T-shirt has actually brought something back to me, and that was that there was a Glasgow shop which made custom T-shirts, which I guess also goes in Day's direction here, and that was that that shop then put into the windows during the Football World Cup some T-shirts which read "Anyone but England," and apparently they sold quite well. So quite a few Scots liked during the Football World Cup to wear "Anyone but England" T-shirts. So basically saying, "Look, I'll back any team. Just let's not have the English win the bloody World Cup. Thank you very much."
Yeah.
And the police turned up at that shop and demanded that they take the T-shirts out of the window because it would cause potential offense. So they hadn't even received a complaint. It was the potential for offense. And you just thought, hang on a moment, this was Glasgow. Who would be offended? You know, it was just really, but it kind of shows the modus operandi here. Because in a way, I know it's a completely different case, but in a way, it's again a similar thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It was the fact is maybe a passing English guy might just look at that and see that in the window and just go, "Oh well, that's Scotland for you," and just keep walking. Like, see the whole like anti-English thing. There are people here who are quite anti-English. Right, but like 99% of it is just all banter. It's like all right then, but hundreds of years ago we weren't exactly treated very well. But like I'm not going to hold a grudge over something that your great grandfather may or may not have done. Like
you're a terrible Scotsman.
But it is a tongue-in-cheek thing. But the police turns up about a tongue-in-cheek thing and demands it be removed. And in that regard, I know it's a completely, you know, it's a different level. But in this case, once again, someone does something tongue-in-cheek. You've got a dog doing a Nazi salute, and you end up being walked out of the house in handcuffs.
Yeah.
And you just sort of think, well, you know, somewhere something is going wrong here.
Yeah. It's the feelings.
Is this a Scottish? Is this like isolated to Scotland, or is this throughout the British Isles?
It depends. I know there's some places where, like, say for example, like Tommy Robinson gets a lot of shit. He's got the police proper coming after him. He used to be the leader of the EDL. Now he's just a sort of a right-wing spokesman. He just wants to shut immigration down. He had the police tried over and over to ruin his life. They looked into him, his family, his cousins, even his nieces and nephews, and like found crimes like, you know, minor tax evasion and stuff like that to pin them all with. The police just tried to get everything they could on Tommy Robinson. There was even things as well where when Tommy Robinson went to prison, they made sure he was on a wing with the highest number of Muslim inmates, because there was this whole thing where they think that the police were trying to get him killed. I don't know if I'm sure about that, but then again, the British.
So he's the personification of persona non grata, isn't he?
Oh yeah, big time. Like the event that happened just the other day that he was at, he got assaulted and the police told him to leave.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
It's a case of like having opinions is even punishable by law. Like if you lean too far towards the right, like see to me, like a Nazi is someone who actually wants to exterminate everyone who isn't white. Because, you know, anyone that was an undesirable, like homosexuals, Jews, you know, the Roman gypsies, you know, people like that. Like that's what I would see a Nazi as. But see, as soon as anyone gets Tommy Robinson gets called a Nazi, he doesn't want anybody to die. He doesn't want deaths. He doesn't want anything like that. But see, because the public all adamantly believe that he is, that means that the police kind of have a fucking, you know, pass.
Is it perhaps also that people just basically, that it's believed that people just go for headlines? That basically, you know, you stereotype someone and then you just basically go through the stereotype in a headline, and most people won't read the article, they will see the headline.
Yeah,
and in that regard, that would also play into your situation where you are now just Nazi pugman.
Yeah, that was what happened with my neighbour. My neighbour just like read through the paper slightly and believed that I was a Nazi. This is the neighbour that attacked my house with dog shit.
I like that story.
Yeah, it was. What I know the fact is as well. After it happened, like we called the cops and stuff like that. Because it scared my girlfriend. She got really scared because she thought that people were going to come to the house and attack us and stuff like that.
It's a very real threat.
Yeah, but like
what ended up canine theme to it, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, Nazi dogs and dog shit.
They're really after your dog.
I got a question for Count.
Yeah.
What was the first thing that went through your mind when you found out what all was going on? Like after you were arrested and you were found out what you were going to be charged with, what went through your mind?
It was mostly like when I was sitting talking to my lawyer and everyone, we were all just like, "This is bullshit. It'll get thrown out." But then the papers kept writing about it, and the courts just weren't budging because my lawyer tried over and over to like plead with them, like, "Look at this. This is bullshit. Throw this out." Right, but the courts were like, "No, we're going through with it." And I think it's because like they've already made the move; they can't back out now, and that's why I think that's why I think things are being done. Like, for example, like my trial's getting extended to see if I can fuck up more. They're looking into my entire online history. They're trying to find anything they can to get me with.
Is there also an element of seeing whether they can get you to plead guilty?
Oh yeah, they tried to get me to do that, and I said no.
So basically, the longer they stretch this out, the more they increase the levels of stress upon you, the more likely you are then to, plead guilty in order to get a lesser sentence.
Yeah, plead down to something.
Nah, I absolutely will not plead guilty. I absolutely will not. I've committed no crime.
I agree with you, and
is that possibly one of their motivations behind this?
Oh yeah, the courts. One thing about the Scottish police is they don't really care if they get the right guy for the right thing, just as long as they get someone. Like I know a guy that did 2 years in prison for something that he didn't even do. The police a number of years ago arrested me and tried to charge me with armed robbery, when I legit had absolutely nothing to do with it. And if it wasn't for my employer giving the police CCTV footage of me working at the time of the robbery, then
so you had to prove your innocence. You literally had to prove your innocence.
I literally had to prove my innocence. It was a case of I just got arrested and I didn't even know what I was getting arrested for until I was at the station, and they were like armed robbery, and I started laughing like, yeah, totally me. I totally did that, and everything. then like they kept me in the jail and everything, but it wasn't until my employer came out with the footage and said, fucking release him right now. Like, I've got the evidence here, and then they let me go. And the police were angry with the fact that they let me go.
According to what sort of MC, what he was trying to get at was, you know, do you think this is actually a British law, or is it a particularly Scottish law? You know, and whose books is this really?
The act that I'm being charged under is the Offensive Communications Act, which it covers a lot of areas. It's if you make like racist material, or it's also to do with like football matches. See how we've got a lot of sectarian violence in Scotland between Catholics and Protestants. It was mainly the law was mainly made for them because they would give each other a lot of shit.
Okay, so you think this is actually a Scottish law in that case?
Yeah, I think it is quite exclusively Scottish law, because you don't get as much sectarianism.
When Blair started the whole hate crime thing, at that time he hadn't created the Scottish Parliament yet.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that wasn't then just a British law, so to speak, and then since then though that might have been devolved, if you know what I mean.
I think it's sort of like whenever a law gets passed, it can always be, you know, bended and changed with amendments and stuff like that to become more suitable and, you know, work for the purposes that they want it to work towards. Like there was a quote. I don't know if you've ever seen that film, The Boat That Rocked.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember the quote? And that's the smashing thing about being in government. Whenever anyone's doing something we don't like, we just pass a law to make it illegal.
Yes.
Like
that was what was it? It's a Richard Curtis film, isn't it?
Yeah. Like that's
Kenneth Branagh, who was who played the minister.
Yeah.
That was it, yeah. Who said that line?
That was the very one. And that's just true. It's just like there isn't really much. As soon as you do something and the government goes, "Oh, I don't like that," they'll just pass a law against it. Yeah, and that's just the thing. It doesn't exactly make it. It's very mummy knows best.
Yeah, because of course the telling the Celtic and the Rangers fans that they can't sing songs at each other anymore will suddenly, of course, turn them into people who like each other very much.
Oh yeah, that's one situation that's never going to get resolved, because the songs themselves were built to antagonise. Like, because you've heard of the Old Firm violence and everything as well. You know, the streets. Whenever there's an Old Firm Day is what it's called, and it's when Rangers are playing against Celtic, and the streets just light up with love. You know,
I thought you guys had.
I got Cabbage Patch to start
full-blown-
coming back on, folks. So we'll be right back. I was been off this whole time trying to get him back on. We actually created a new account for him. That really was a joke gone awry. I want everybody to remember one thing with me. It's all an act. That is probably the worst thing you can say to a bloke around here, but it was all an act. I meant to kick him off and laugh, and then Bass Mama was going to have a second to talk, and she was going to laugh. But really what happened is I turned out to be a dick. So I'll be right back.
No problems.
It still boggles my mind that of what you're going through over there, because I mean, you know, here in the United States, we have, of course, the First Amendment, say whatever the hell you want, as long as you're not like releasing classified information or something crazy like that. And I've grown up.
Different situation.
I understand, but I've grown up into this mentality of you can say your own opinion of something, and the government basically can't come after you because of the First Amendment. But over there, I mean, it simply boggles my mind, and especially when they tried to charge you with armed robbery, that to me just sounds insane.
That to me sounds like Soviet Russia, but you know, whatever.
Exactly.
Another law that's been passed as well, like say, and it would need to be a British person. Like, for example, if I found a picture of Britisher and I decided to, for a joke, Photoshop a cock going into his mouth, just for a joke, Britisher could actually have me arrested for that.
It's these are fantastical things. Yes, where you would effectively criminalize memes, wouldn't you?
Yep, that's pretty much what it is. I remember the police posted this. Like, I try and avoid terms like Orwellian, but like this was like one of the most Orwellian things that the police have ever posted, and it was called "Think before you tweet, or you might be getting a visit from us this week." So that
I
means
thought
that
that was just our NFL that did that kind of stuff.
The
No,
authorities love putting up posters with two sinister eyes glaring down at you, either because they're trying to tell you that you know, they'll get you for your taxes, or for other such things. And yeah, whenever I see one of those posters, I sort of it does look rather Orwellian, doesn't it?
yeah. It's like where I live just now in Coatbridge, we've got a population of about 40,000 people. It used to be 80,000 before Thatcher came in and fucked everything up. But but like about 40,000 people, and I think we've got something like 7,000 cameras in Coatbridge alone. Like there's almost nowhere you can go in Scotland unless you go like
40,000 cameras in one town.
no 40,000 people and 7,000 cameras.
So there's six.
Coatbridge.
For every 6 people, there's a camera. That's
Yeah.
That's
in
crazy.
In some areas that are classed as like problem areas, they have these camera towers, which is just a big tall tower that's surrounded by cameras, but they're all like second floor level, so they can see into people's houses.
Yeah.
The cameras can actually see right through people's houses and stuff like that, and the residents all complained, and they went, "Oh, but it's a crime-ridden area. It's for your own good." That we can
It's
see
one of their
into your
favorite
houses.
lines, isn't it? It's for your own good.
Ugh, that's
Yeah,
how
like you know what's for my own good.
Mm-hmm. If you've got nothing to hide, then you've nothing to worry about. That old line.
Oh, I hate
Yeah,
that. I hate
Yeah.
that.
That was Michael Howard, wasn't it?
It's only criminals that have to worry.
Oh, yeah, it was for the snooper
If
law,
you-
right?
I
What was
feel like
his-
it's just
what was his-
normalizing it until it like engulfs the general populace and we're all under their control.
Yeah, but nobody wants a minimum wage camera operator watching them fucking like that. I think that's I think that's just the most important
Sorry.
point.
Well, I think that one of the points the British had made earlier in a different stream was the thing is okay, you got all these cameras, great. How many crimes have you actually stopped or actually interfered with? I mean, so you got 7,000 cameras. How many times has it actually stopped somebody or allowed the police to get there to help somebody?
I would say apparently there's a rule with the police. See if there's a fight and it's over 5 people involved in the fight. If it's only 2 officers, they're not allowed to get involved, and it's classed as a small-scale riot. Apparently, if it's about 5 people, which means that there was a time where there was a bunch of football hooligans that were in the pub I was in, and I was the bouncer, and like what happened was it kicked off, and there was only 3 bouncers in the club and like 12 of these guys, so we got the shit kicked out of us, and 2 policemen sat in their car and just watched it happen because their rules say they're not allowed to intervene when there's so many combatants.
So if it's more than 5, it's not a fight. It's a scrumash or whatever.
Yeah,
Skirmish?
It's classed as a small scale riot.
What is this, hockey rules for the referees? Wait till somebody's on the ground before you try and get them off?
See the amount of times that I've seen the police not intervene in fights, but see once like the fight has finished and like the winners have ran away, all the losers are lying knocked out on the ground, and the police come in and arrest the losers.
Oh my
Those are
god.
classy cops you got over there, man.
There are some wonderful health and safety regulations for some of the police over here, which
I don't know. I've
sometimes are
seen
quite
some live
breathtaking.
leaks of British cops, and I'm like, holy shit! It's like my gran is on the police force. Like they're being attacked, and they're just like swatting at them with their flashlight. Like, no, 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 no. What are you doing? Like, you're just uselessly flailing your arms. Like that's gonna deter an attacker. Like why don't your cops have guns?
That's
the
what
hell
I've
is
been
wrong with
thinking
you?
for
Like,
years.
Where's the but no, the Britisher told me about this. There's backup, right? Where they
There
come
is
with the guns.
There is always armed backup, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, guys, for you, your
the
version
thinking
of SWAT
tends to
is your
be-
backup.
the thinking tends to be that if you arm the police, then in a way the criminals will also arm themselves.
Well, it's true, actually.
I think the criminals will arm themselves any damn way because every time I've seen a live leak, the dude they were pursuing already had a gun.
Well,
Well, and
but
Base Mama-
here in Britain, that
Or an
doesn't seem
axe.
to be the case.
Exactly.
One
Which
dude
is
had a
why-
hatchet. I'll say that. He did have a hatchet. They tried to tase him, and apparently they learned a very good lesson that we've known here for quite some time. You cannot tase people on PCP. It ain't gonna help you.
Well,
Was
Base
he a
Mama,
juggalo?
you have to what you have to do to stop someone on PCP is to put a bullet through their central nervous system, which is their spine or their brain. You can sit
Which
there.
kills them. That's
you
the
can-
only way you
Yeah.
can.
That's the only way. That's it.
Count Dankula will know what I'm talking about here. Or you can kick them in the groin so hard that you actually
You neuter them.
actually you actually break your own foot in the process.
I don't know if you guys know about the only terrorist attack we ever had in Scotland. Terrorists only ever tried it once, and I'm going to tell you exactly what happened when they did. There were no deaths, and this, by the way, they didn't kill anyone. They drove a car that was laden with like fuel-based explosives into Glasgow Airport, right? So they smashed through the door. They tried to detonate the bomb. All it did was set themselves and the whole car on fire. They got out of the car while on fire. Everyone in the airport then ran over and started beating the shit out of the terrorists while they were on fire. Right, and there was a famous headline of one of the people at the airport kicked the terrorist in the balls so hard that he tore tendons in his own foot. Right, so it's the fact is, in Glasgow, even if you're on fire, that won't stop us kicking the shit out of you.
I remember hearing about this.
Scotland
They
so
had.
fucking cut. Like, what the hell?
I remember hearing about this. They had about 700 pounds of ANFO.
Yeah, and they totally fucked it up. And that's the only terrorist attack that's ever been attempted on Scottish people.
The beauty of it, and I always like to point out to people that I do not think, we always are told how the terrorists are these kind of ninja-like super killers, but most of them are complete morons because they had this big Range Rover, I think, that they'd packed full of these gas canisters and explosives. But it had never occurred to them that they would have to actually measure the size of the Range Rover and roughly estimate the size of the gates at the airport, which they were trying to drive the car through. So
That would be good to know.
What actually happened was the hole in the building was not large enough to take the car. So whereas their plan had been to ram their way through the entrance gates into the hole inside the airport and then blow themselves up inside, all that they succeeded in doing is jamming their car into the entrance, thereby not being able to go a foot further forward or backward anymore. So they were jammed in this space, all ablaze. They leapt out of their car, running around like headless chicken, because by that time they were on fire. And of course, were then met by a friendly attendant who kicked one of them in the groin, in spectacular fashion. So yes, they have since not been back to Scotland.
Ta-da!
Well, they should have croned harder. That's what I'm saying.
Perfectly executed.
I think that will go down as one of the proudest moments in Scottish history, won't it?
Yes.
There's William Wallace, and then there's airport attendant guy.
We'll never turn down the opportunity for a fight. That's how differences are settled here. Don't mess with Scottish people that are trying to go on holiday.
Last time I broke in, I fucked everything up. But Cabbage, if you can hear me, the link, because I'm trying to give it to his email, the link is actually in the chat now. If anybody else comes in here without being invited, I'll probably kick you out for real. But Cabbage, that was everybody. I hope everybody on the panel knows that I'm an actor. I've been in, doing like local shit for years. 99% of what you've seen was a fucking act. It just went awry with a really good mate. So I'm trying to get him back on here. Carry on, crack on.
Oh, wait, Dankula, I don't have your Twitter.
On my Twitter? Oh, it's just Count Dankula TV. I would like to point out, like, see, because obviously whenever I appear on someone else's podcast or anything like that, I try and act respectable and act nice and stuff like that. But see, on my Twitter, my own channel and my own streams, I'm an absolute shitlord.
You don't have to act nice. I would actually like it if you were a shitlord a bit more.
I'm trying to be nice. I try and be respectable. Like on my Twitter, I I try my best to annoy everyone. I'm blocked by so many people.
Dude, I love you. You're amazing. I've been like binge watching your channel, following you on Twitter. You're amazing. More people need to be like you. I feel like I don't know
second
if
that.
everybody
Even
will
though you don't
agree.
drink, I second that with a 16-ounce beer I just cracked.
Oh, Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock.
Well, as I say, Dankula, you'll have to come up with some poetry, you know.
Oh yeah. No, if you're
No,
really gonna get my heart, you need poetry.
The timorous wee beastie. I think that's the way to go here, isn't it?
Timorous wee beastie. Hold on, 2 seconds
It
then.
doesn't work with burping.
Oh, here, I'll get.
I thought it was muted. I'm sorry, I thought it was muted.
Rabbit buns to a mouse. Wee slicket cowering timorous beastie, a lot of panics in my breastie. Now needing a start away so hasty, with bicker and brattle. I would later in a chase of thee, with mother and paddle. I'm truly sorry man's dominion has broken nature's social union, and justifies that ill opinion which makes thee startle. At me thy poor earthborn companion and fellow mortal.
Okay, I love you. That was amazing. Oh my god, I can listen to this all day. You guys just read me and Base Mama poetry all the time.
I do
I'm
like
wet.
Rabbit buns. I do.
For the Scots have a lot of limericks they could sit up there and elate.
There's a quite interesting wee thing. You know how the whole battle rapping thing
Yeah.
was actually invented in Scotland between poets? They would insult each other in verse, and it was called flighting.
Oh my god, so it's not cultural appropriation. It's cultural
it's not.
appropriation against white Scottish people.
We also invented gang culture as well, by the way.
Oh shit!
And then the Mexicans took it
Well,
over.
Then again, I think with gang culture, the Romans might actually have had the lead
Oh,
on
okay,
you
then
there.
I'm there because I'm half Italian. Okay, that's all me.
Kind of just kind of
But that-
Deutschland,
want to
you
go
got
with gang
us.
culture.
I messed that up.
Jam Obi has just joined us, but I have to say, Jam Obi, actually, you've been on a stream with me before. You're really cool. But if Cabbage tries to come in, I think there's 8 of us in here now. I would just ask you kindly to leave. I just realized, man, I thought that, I'm not going to reiterate it. Everybody wants to call me a bitch over there. It's fine with me calling me a bitch. I'm telling you, it was a joke. Me and this guy are good friends. It's just supposed to be good TV. So I'm not going to belabor that. Just carry on.
The chat is always cancer. If you feed them food, they're just going to grow.
I don't know if you can
It's true.
hear what's going on at my end here, because
No.
once again the hail rattling against my window here.
You have the hailstorm?
This is now the second time this evening. It's ridiculous.
I want to
Yeah,
go
we can't
outside
tell.
in the hailstorm. Oh, I hear it.
Yeah, we had like 1 inch hail here a couple days ago.
Why is Mass Effect Andromeda on the screen?
Because I'm a shill
'Cause they're-
on this game and for the next 56 minutes until it downloads to my PlayStation.
But oh my god, I love the Mass Effect series, and I wasn't gonna board the hype train, and I'm not gonna board the hate train, but from what I've seen, it looks so disappointing.
I've seen some janky faces, but like I watched a few hours like people playing it just to see if like it played well.
Yeah, but
Play well.
But the voice acting and the lines, like the story, it just seems not there, which is what I played the Mass Effect games for. And
Well, I get you. I'm hoping to God I didn't waste $70 on my pre-order.
well, let's all hope to God about that. That's where they get you. Fucking pre-orders. I don't know. I was gonna take a wait and see approach, and I'm kind of glad I did. But I'm playing The Witcher 3 finally, and that shit is amazing. Oh my god.
What are you playing, Dank? I want to know what you two are going to be playing on Steam. I mean, what? Because I got Steam. I got an Acer G6 that I'm doing this on, and I like RPGs. But apparently, the Acer G6 with a 32 gigs of RAM and the fucking 1060 GTX card and everything. I mean, I could put the camera on it. It's
1080.
badass. I could just 1080. Yeah.
I'll
I'm
go ahead
trying to.
gigabytes of RAM.
Badass. So what should I play on it, or what? Anyway, I just heard y'all say Steam, and I kind of want to know what y'all are playing.
Well, at the moment just now, I'm playing like Insurgency, which I call it Taliban Simulator when I'm streaming. I
gotta add you on Twitch.
I try and like, I know this sounds really bad, but I try and like reenact live leak videos. Like on my stream, I'm sitting looking at my scope through like the guys playing the Americans, and I sit there going, Allahu Akbar.
You do
I will watch
realize,
you. I will watch the shit out of that.
you do
I
realize
just
that
had
they
cherry
are drawing
Coke
up
in my
the
mouth.
next arrest charge as we speak.
Dude, I just had cherry Coke in my mouth, and you almost made me spit it into my microphone.
One extreme to the other.
Oh, here we go, mate.
I was about to commit suicide.
I'm just kidding now.
Holy shit.
Hey guys, I got a video game
No,
right
let it roll.
here.
Let it roll. That's great. That's fucking awesome, man.
That's a horrible song. It's been turned into a Mormon hymn, man.
Hey, he played the whole thing. That was badass. Oh, we got somebody new here, CCC. If you want to say, we had just Jim Obi, and he said hi. So hi, CCC. How you doing? Hey, is that Cabbage Patch?
It is I, you fucker.
Yes!
Fucking pain in the ass. You.
Oh man, Cabbage. Listen, I won't do.
I went
I won't
from
do this
Bastard
very
to
often.
Bastard now.
I like to do the theater, so people now are in the back door of our fun. But man, mate, you know I wouldn't have done that. So let's carry on.
No harm, no foul.
Yeah. And I must say that I won't put everybody in order because I actually like a lot of these people equally, but I'm so glad that Cabbage is back. He's a really true mate. Go ahead, and thank you too, man. I gotta say, you know what? This has not been the biggest one we've had so far, but Dankula, it's like the funnest one so far. So now I'm just gonna
I
listen
think
and
it's
enjoy.
definitely the funnest.
But,
Oh, yeah,
I
just
just,
the
I just
funnest
wanted
one.
to say to Based Mama, you know, when you said, "Oh, that's a horrible song," because that was actually Scotland the Brave.
I know, but I grew up Mormon, and that is a Mormon hymn. I shit you not.
She's not kidding. I've heard it. The
Mama.
Mormons do it. They steal
They
everything.
just obfuscate shit. That's how
At least-
religions work, right?
Plus,
They don't do anything for
bagpipes and
themselves. They just
bagpipes are
take
for
shit.
homos. There, I said it.
Hey, at
Well,
least I'm not
I
as
mean-
bad as the Baptist.
Bagpipes are for funerals and for celebrations. That's about. Does anyone actually know somebody who plays the bagpipes? Where do they come from? Is it like a
Like half
special
my
island they
family.
breed them on?
I know quite a lot.
You would,
know
obviously, yeah.
Now
but-
there's a surprise. A Scotsman who knows someone who plays the
It's bagpipes. Yeah, that's what I'm
Half
saying.
my family
There is one
plays
little
the
place
fucking
where they make.
bagpipes.
Dude, my dad wants bagpipes played at his funeral.
I won't do it. I
Your
won't honor
dad
that
played
request.
at his own funeral?
Yeah, he wants bagpipes played at his funeral. He wants
Oh, he wants
and-
it. I
He
thought you
won't
said
be able
he
to hear
did
it, will he?
at his funeral.
If he doesn't get it,
I don't know, seriously, with bagpipes.
Well,
I think you
not
can
on-
hear
not
that in
only
hell.
that-
You can hear that in heaven. You can hear that anywhere.
I tell him, Cabbage, it's time to shit the floor, Cabbage. Just rock this shit. You can't hear them some bitches in your grave. That's why they play them at funerals, man.
Falcon, if he doesn't get it, will he complain?
He'll come back and haunt
come
you.
back and haunt
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Well,
He will
dude,
know.
the guy was a warrant officer in the army. So not only that, but they have to grant his request to be buried at Arlington because it's during peacetime right now.
Arlington, what?
Arlington
National
National
Virginia.
Cemetery.
Virginia.
Oh, okay.
You know where all the heroes are buried, girl. You know you're just the name's slipping
Well,
your
it's
mind.
right
like that.
by Arlington, Massachusetts, so I didn't know.
He
That's
he
why.
was
But
he
you
was
know, it's
chief
just like
warrant
the Apple
officer.
thing.
He was chief warrant officer 3.
Chief Warren's what? What the fuck happened there? He just suddenly
He was
turned
a
into the flubber dubber dub.
His mouth
I
had
don't
was
know,
a
but-
chief warrant
but
officer.
introduce We got a new like can't tick trick or whatever the fuck his name is, and you know, if you do something stupid, I'll kick you the fuck out for real. Only Cabbage gets a back door again. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah,
Go ahead,
like
Millennial. Millennial, we got a full house.
Can I step in here? I know who this is. Right?
Okay.
The last 8 years of my life.
Wait a second.
Since I hit puberty.
Wait a second. What did Count Dankula say? I'm muting this fucker until you say what you got. What'd you say,
Right.
Dan?
I know who that is. He's one of my
You want him gone?
No,
You want him gone?
I like the guy, but I don't think you will because he's probably here to troll.
Right, he's gone.
No, he's a troll.
No,
Right.
I want
Sorry,
trolls.
man. Dank is the guy of honor. And I just read between
You see
the
how
lines.
it happens? You see, they didn't come, you know, when they come for me and you say nothing and then they come for you. That's how it
I
works.
said
No,
something.
no. Now look, Dankula's the man, and he just said that guy was gone. I read between the lines. And
I
that means
wanted
you're
to
gone.
have a
Well,
fun
Captain
minute.
Dankula.
Nobody said
Dankula,
anything.
can I ask
Yeah,
something?
but we can always mute him.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, you
British,
also
what
have
did
like
you say?
25
He's
people in
fucking
this
gone.
call,
Somebody else
so-
get in here. Get another chance.
Dankula, you know, given that we just had bagpipe music, it reminds one of the Edinburgh Tattoo. And I was just wondering, as a Glaswegian, would you care to share your opinions on people from Edinburgh?
You mean those Queen's loving fuckers?
Oh, now there's a question.
You mean the Queen's pets?
Oh God, talk about Scottish
These
people
are
you can't
British
understand.
birds.
Jesus
We
Christ.
get all the
British
tourists here in
birds.
Edinburgh. Here in Edinburgh, we get all the tourists and we talk dead funny and we all have sex with our
Yeah.
sisters and all that, eh?
American. Like, broke
Hey,
the
and
law.
listen, before everybody busts my balls, and I want you to talk who was just doing the Jam Obi. Yeah, I kicked that fucker out because people told me the thing he was trolling them. They didn't want him in here, so he's fucking gone.
No, I like the
Anybody
guy.
else
He's a cool guy, but he,
I'm sure you like it. I like
Yeah.
it, Dag, but I read between the lines. And everybody else is welcome. There's another spot, so I'm going to shut up again. Somebody else come in. If you either make it or you don't. And the only person that can kick you out is me, or if somebody on the panel says you're gone, you're gone. That's the way it is. Continue.
So I guess come in and be fucking funny right away, right?
That's right.
Or
That's
maybe-
right.
Yeah,
That's right,
perform.
girl. Unless
Dance.
you're based mama,
Dance
then you can
monkey.
stay as long as you want.
That's because I
You
have
make
these.
24 Savage mode.
Also, I think we've forgotten to ask Count Dankula something very important,
What?
given that it was actually touched upon.
Hmm.
Celtic or or Rangers?
no, I'm not answering that question.
Hey, how did you like the rugby results? Right?
You'll just see my
No.
subscribers cut in half
Don't
immediately.
you get into any more trouble.
Come on, that rugby.
Not that
Remember
kind of trouble,
RBS last week? RBS.
Different kind of trouble.
That was embarrassing, wasn't it?
I don't follow the rugby. My dad
Yeah.
does it.
Well, you see.
I don't give a shit about sports.
Fucking
Fuck
heathen.
it.
Hey, the only sport I follow is the Vendée Globe.
The fuck is that?
I don't know.
Sailing, isn't it?
Dude, it is the quintessential sailing race on Earth. Open 60 sailboats going nonstop around the world.
Tell him, Falcon. Tell him.
I spend like
get a
2
rich- you
months
get a rich
watching
dad.
that
You-
goddamn thing.
Someone says
Around
like they
the
come from a
world.
family of memes.
Family of memes.
memes.
Yeah,
Memes.
a family. No, memes as in someone sounds rich if your favourite sport is the annual boat race.
Yeah. Well, it's like
No,
the
he's not
Henley
rich.
Regatta.
No, it
the
is
Henley
the-
Regatta.
He just knows.
Rowing though. Henley was rowing.
Hey, Millennial Falcon, show Dankula your
Well,
coolest rifle. Will you do that if he wants
Don't
to?
do it. No more
Oh, I
guns.
forgot. I'm
No.
sorry.
It's
Wait,
so
I'm sorry.
God, you do this every time.
Hang on. Shut up. Please. I don't mean to say shut up, but Day is dead. I forgot. No, don't do it.
No, we
Day is
don't-
dead. I'm
we
so
already did
sorry.
it.
I forgot, girl. Yeah, in fact, listen,
I
Millennial,
don't
I forgot.
care.
Damn it.
I love my little sister, and she don't like fucking guns. So I forgot. Day, I'm sorry. Continue.
Okay,
I don't
got
not
something-
like them. I'm just bored by them on a live stream.
Don't pull a gun out. Don't pull a gun out, fucker. I'll kick
Look,
you off, man.
no,
Day
look.
don't want no
Don't
guns.
kick him
Go
off.
over my-
Fine.
Oh, please.
No,
Jesus.
I
I tell
won't-
you,
I won't
this
kick
guy's
him off.
getting fucking trigger happy.
He can't
They
get
should
kicked
come
off.
out here. Wait.
Just relax. Just relax. Oh, we got a new guy. We got somebody new here.
Oh my god, this is all
Somebody
going to shit.
What the fuck is going on now?
I don't know, but that was cool, man. You can stay for a minute. He just
just
get,
That works.
He came on and left. That was badass. Whoever that was fucking badass.
I also know who that was.
Okay.
What the fuck was that?
Dankula, I want a verbal commitment that you will come back in 2 months. I'm not going to beg it for.
I'll be able to come back. Well, I'll be back in 2 months if the trial goes well.
Yeah, if you're not in jail.
Well, but I'm just saying, I'm not going to beg you for like next week, but I do want you back, man. This is the funnest fucking deal we've ever had, bro.
I'm cool to come back.
Yeah, but this is the point, right? You've got a guy who everybody can get along with, and he's being charged with hatred.
With hate crime.
How fucking demented is that?
Dude, I love you. You're the best guy ever.
I love you, Dankula.
He's fucking awesome.
I would like to say, man, before I crank my mic up all the way, that I would like to say this: that what Dankula, I'm going to speak for you, Dankula. If you don't like it, just you kick me out. But I'm going to say this: Dankula asked all y'all not to write letters and stuff as I turn my mic down, so I'm not just a dick. He actually not, but you know what he may like? He might like you to friend him on Twitter or whatever the fucking face media is now, and he might like you to say, "Hey, mate, we appreciate what you've done for society. We appreciate that you've stuck your neck out for a little comedy." He might like that more than you sending a letter to somebody. And at that, I'll shut up. And hopefully some more of your shitposting friends will come on and do like this. So that was great.
And a future for Count Dankula traps aren't free. We must preserve the existence of Count Dankula and a future for Count Dankula traps.
Let him go. Let him go. Oh, do it again, bro. Do it again.
You are, but I love you.
Let him do it. Let him do it one more time.
Oh,
he's gone.
There's the new 14 words now for.
Is it ominous?
I'm gonna post the link again. Keep them coming.
Confirm, Dankula.
Oh,
the British asked
Hold
him.
on, I'm gonna check my Discord. I bet you people have posted this in the Discord and they're coming in.
I had something there, Brett.
Yeah,
I was
your
just wanting
Hangouts
to
link
ask.
got posted.
No, well, the Britisher, he's so low-spoken that I think he's tried to say something like 50 times in a day.
I was just wanting to ask Dankula, given what we're seeing here, do you know any normal people?
That's a very good question.
Normal people are boring.
That's why he's here.
Normal people figured at Sig Heiling puppies.
Yeah, exactly. Real people are actually having fun. Real
come
people
on,
are
somebody
having
else come
fun.
on, something like that. And when you come on, just when I see you, give me about 5 seconds, next person, whoever it may be, and then we'll be quiet and let you do your little thing like you just did so everybody can hear it. That was great.
Hey, Big, get back on here.
Yeah, get back on here, man. Come on.
It only works in small increments.
Yeah, you're right. You're true. That's true.
Your Hangouts link has been posted in my Discord, which is the worst place for it to be.
There we go.
No, put it there, man. This is where the ogre lives, brother. I am the laughing ogre. I am the king of the trolls. I am God level troll. No one can outact me. No one can out bullshit.
Here we go.
Here's Megas.
Well, excuse me. Apparently, I managed to troll the troll because I got bounced. So
you don't count cabbage. We're on the same level. You're God level, man.
In front of the bridge, he just threw you away.
Megas, welcome to a stream that people are actually watching.
I don't know why.
Well, we were all good and serious there for like an hour. It's totally cool. I don't know what the hell you've been doing the other 4 hours. Whatever.
I mean, we don't have our big draw right now.
Being serious, I was keeping time, Base Mama. You know, Base Mama, how hard it was for me to shut up because you're about ready to tell me to shut the fuck up like you usually do.
Well, everyone is just here because Dankula did a rendition of Rock Burns.
We got somebody new.
It's a big back again.
I had to fucking try and phone Sass. Won't know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I don't hang up just to get put in the fucking queue for it. Like, that's what happens every time you call.
This is your roommate, yeah?
No, this is a guy from my Discord.
Oh God! I'm
Oh, fuck's sake! Go ahead.
He just literally called me up.
Yeah, I can.
A real gangster like to play his cards right. Real gangster ass niggas don't walk straight.
He's gone.
Yes, niggas fucking liquor. Oh, sorry.
Dude, stop.
I just wanted to say hi to Megas. Gosh.
Hello.
Hi, Megas. Who's
How
that?
are you? Megas is the best chat cancer.
Chat cancer. Hi, cancer.
Chat cancer.
Oh, I love my chat cancer.
Better than anyone.
Mm.
Did you
Speak
say
up.
you've got to leave in a minute? Dankula.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Dankula, you put in.
Hey, Migus, is your mic working right now?
Is it off?
No,
it's
on.
working.
It's just quiet.
Hang on, guys. Dankula said that he's got to head off.
Yeah, so I kind of want to give him the last word because there's a shitload of us in here, and he really made this chat fucking great.
I wanted
He brought
to
some really great people.
Damn it. And I ended
Nah,
up having
Ebag-
to fucking spend half of it trying to recreate a Google account, you prick.
I'm not kissing anybody's ass again. Y'all can suck my Jew cock. I
Well,
made a
I was
fucking.
gonna ask Count Dankula if you're not busy on Friday. I do a Friday live stream, and I think that my subs would like to get to know you better, and I would certainly like to hang out with you for a while, some more.
Hey man, you use my channel to post your shit. Go ahead, girl. Whatever.
Yeah, can I come on too?
You promote the shit out of
Man,
me.
listen,
didn't
y'all. I
think you
better
would
be
mind
there.
me
I'm the one that got him on. I
beard
better be
begging
there.
over here.
No, I'm into that. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I followed you on Twitter. So can I message you now, or you have closed DMs, or what?
I'll message you.
I'm not even shitting, Mama. I will be quiet, but if you don't have me on that stream, I'll
I will
never
flick
speak
you
to you
in your
again.
nutsack if you don't shush.
Never speak to you again. If you don't have me on that
Thanks for anything I see on my Twitter. I'm pretty bad on Twitter. I always try and get blocked by celebrities, and I've been blocked by a lot so far.
It'll be about like, are you on London time?
Yeah, UK time.
GMT.
Okay, so it'll
British
be
Mean Time.
It's nearly 3:30 in the morning.
7. It'll be earlier than this. It'll be like 23. Yeah.
About 11 o'clock. I can do that. That's fine.
Okay, then I will.
Hey,
harass
you too,
on Twitter.
Dankula, motherfucker. I introduced you to these girls. I better be on that chat or I'll hate y'all. Like it matters, but whatever.
Sometimes they're actually considerably more well behaved than they are now.
Oh, I dropped the hammer. I'm much more liberal with my ejections.
Somebody's in trouble next time. Oh my goodness. I think it might be me. That was good, girl. Hey, I do.
Mama, if
and
you
all
have
jokes
room, I'll
aside,
be
I
on
hope
that
you're
too,
Dank.
because I love Count Dankula.
Well, I love you, so there you go.
Oh, yay, Love Fest.
Well, I'm not officially.
Okay,
you
hippies.
Yeah.
So Dank, hang on a second. Right, hang on, one second. Dank, how long do you have before you got to go, Dank? And I can't turn it up no louder than this.
It would just be a couple of minutes because I'm gonna go do stuff and then probably go to bed.
Okay, so give us. Let's all be real kind here, including me. Let's give him the last couple minutes to say, I don't know, your favorite video game. I don't give a fuck what you say, brother. Say it, and then I have a little piece for your outro. So whenever you're done and you got to go, say good night, and then I got a little 30-second thing I worked up for you, man, just from an ogre to a brother.
No, that's cool, man. It's just mostly like I just feel dead happy the fact that pretty much everyone knows that I was just joking. This was just a complete mistake, and it was all done as a joke. I don't actually regret doing it because I know in my heart that it didn't come from a place of hate. If the cops wanted to say that on their own, then that's their business. Because it wasn't. It was purely just a joke to wind up my girlfriend. That's literally all it was. If people want to, sensationalize it and just totally push a narrative and try and make it to be a racist or a Nazi, then they can do that. I don't really care what people like that think. That's pretty much it, really, and just thanks to everybody for supporting me in that. Cheers, though. That's pretty much it.
Thank you, Dank. Before you go, I got to say one thing. Hang on, Cabbage, and I won't cut you off after this. I just want to say something, brother. I love your mic that you brung tonight, but I gave you an offer before. I got so much music equipment around here, and you know how to get a hold of me, bro. And you know more about me than most of these people will ever know, and you know that. So what I'll say is, if you want,
I got your number.
All right, listen, folks. I'm not going to bust any balls, but please let me say this to this guest that everybody is now sucking his dick and putting him on their channel, but I did get him on mine first. So let me just say that. Dag, if you would like a mic, just give me your info, and if you don't want my used one, I won't even lie. I will buy you a brand new Snowball Blue, and send it to you. It's only like $60, man. And you
No,
do.
you weren't. He's already got one. He offered it to me the other day. It's now going
up and let me finish my thought, man. Please. Dag, and listen, this is what it is. This is what it is. It'll be the same way. It'll be worse on Base Mama. She's crazy, man. She has crazy guests. It's a lot of fun. But this is my way of saying thank you to you, because you do have 1 million or 2 million.3. A lot of people do think you're rich, but I know better, man. You work and you strive and you struggle, and now they got you down and they're trying to pin you down, and you want this shit to be over. And my way of showing you my thanks, since I can't send you like 5 ounces of the killer dank, I would like to do something. I would like to do something like that.
No,
Get up with me and listen. The girls that offered you on here, especially Based Mama, I talked a lot of shit, but she's solid, dude. If you show up, you're gonna have a lot of fun. So I'm not gonna keep you here any longer. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart as a host. I hope it didn't get too crazy in the end, and I hope. I won't mess with it. We only do this thing right here with the Hard Bastard and the Britisher every 2 weeks. So I'll probably hit you up in like a month so that I'm not bullying you. And if you want to come on, you come on. If you don't, you don't. And brother, with all of my heart, you see that I don't pester you. And you know I can DM you anytime I want. You see that. I don't pester you. But I will always do what I do. I will always send you a happy picture of me once a week. And brother, no matter what happens, if you go into that prison cell for a day, man, and they can call me faggots all they want, I will be there with you, brother. I will be in that prison cell with you. My soul will go out to you. And as long as they imprison you, as long as they have you on probation, as long as they stifle your wonderful sense of humor and your admirable creativity, I will be with you, brother. And we will play the pipes in life and death, no matter what anyone thinks about the way they sound. That said, Dank, if you got to sign off or whatever, it's been my honor to have you on, brother. And I'm done busting balls for everybody else.
Dank, seriously, I want to ask you, is there any way that we can realistically help you, in any real way? Tangible.
I think the biggest thing is just awareness. I think see the more and more like bigger YouTubers, because the way it works now is YouTube is the dominant voice now. Like nobody believes the mainstream media, and they did that to themselves.
But is the legal system listening to the mainstream?
Yeah.
Like listening to the alternative media? That's the problem.
Legal system kind of does what it wants.
Everybody else say their last goodbyes, and remember, he doesn't
add
want to take your money.
I can just add one thing before you go, and that is that I know they're giving you a hell of a time, but just keep in mind that they've actually unwittingly cast you as the hero.
They have. They're making you a martyr, mate. Seriously, this is what they're doing. You will become, weirdly enough, you will be,
just like the poets of old, mate. Just like the poets of old.
And the more this is dragged out,
Dankula, the martyr.
The more you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you could ever believe. So
well, and guys, the more they drag it out, the more awareness there will be of it. I mean, heck, like what happened up in Canada. I mean that everybody knew about that. Because they dragged it out.
Good point, brother. Last chance saloon. There's other people that want to say goodbye to Dankula.
Mel Gibson is on standby for the role when the film comes out.
Dank.
Yeah, Dankula the movie.
Your story's
just when you thought it was
he's got to go. He's being very nice right now. He's a very kind gentleman. So everybody, is one last chance. Plain speech. If you got like a 5-second, everybody else give a 5-second goodbye and let this gentleman go on with his evening. He's been very kind.
Good luck, man. Good luck, Count Dankula.
Teach your story in the future.
I want you to win this in public.
Midges, his mic is off, and now the next one at Mass Effect. What the fuck is your name? Jambone, anything you got to say real quick?
Since I'm going to be a teacher in the future, I'll definitely teach your story in a free speech lesson.
Cabbage Patch Bastard, anything you want to say before he goes? Say goodbye, anybody? Mama, do you want to say goodbye? She already said, and welcome. Day is dead.
Yes, I actually wanted to ask a question. Are the public allowed to be present at the hearing or trial?
No.
Or would you want them there? Okay, no.
Yeah, I mean, like to gather outside and support.
If you want to do that, that'd be everyone's right to free speech, and they're allowed to do that. But I can't be seen to be encouraging that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was asking
Well,
about
well
the
said, well
legality.
said, well
Are
said,
people
well said.
allowed to go? That's all I was asking.
Well, that's what I was saying, that he's
Okay.
been so magnanimous.
hang on
He's
now,
actually-
Cabbage. Now it's
he's
your
tried to
turn.
prevent people, from
We
actually
got to let this guy go.
voicing
I'm going down the
themselves.
list. I think we've all said something, and unless you got something to
didn't.
say goodbye, Cabbage Patch. And no, Day did not. Day, say whatever you got to say to this wonderful gentleman.
Okay, Count Dankula, I love you. You're awesome. Keep memeing, bro. I'm totally there with you. If you go to the jail, that is outrageous, and I hope it doesn't get there. Keep, hanging on. I know it's tough with the trial looming and stuff, but try not to get stressed too much. You're just in this right now, and we're with you, and everybody knows it's a fucking joke, man.
Fucking
Okay,
joke.
that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you
Love
so
you.
much, girl. I think I got everybody. And Dank, you've been so kind. Once you cut off, because if you listen to my spiel I'm gonna do on you, you'll be here for another hour. So once you cut off, I'm gonna give a little spiel for you. And brother, man, I can't say it more than she just said it the best. So I'm gonna leave it at what Day said. We're all with you, friend.
I really
Keep your
appreciate
chin
it.
up, mate. Keep your
guys.
chin up, mate.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's all you can do.
Thanks very much, guys. I really do appreciate that.
Sign
that's
off, or we'll
amazing.
keep talking to you.
Right, no worries.
Aaron, go raw.
Don't know what to do at this point except just Count Dankula out. Cheesy as fuck. There you go.
2, 3, 4. My own fault, baby.